What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the second official episode of the Chrizalid Chronicles. And it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Because like a lot of y'all, like, I know some people might get on my case about the fact that, you know, I call the impromptu episode with Creepy that I did back during the Evo event with SNK. It's still episode 0 because I didn't even have a name for the podcast. But we're back with the Chrizalid Chronicles. I hope you all are doing well. At the time of me recording right now, it is August the 2nd. Did I sound British there for a minute?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I said August. And as y'all can see, like, as you can see, I got a special guest. Introduce yourself.
Hey, it is Volt XIV. You know, it's hilarious. People always say 14, and I never think about that.
Pretty sure some
But
people over here that, you know, KOF fans, they might even default to 14 themselves, you know?
probably.
Oh my God. So tell them a little bit about yourself for those that don't already know, because I know there are some people from your community that's also, you know, I don't know if they're subbed. If they're subbed, cool. If they come over and watch and leave comments, that's cool too. But I know they've interacted. So for those that don't know you, just let them know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm, you know, your standard run-of-the-mill kind of video essayist, content creator, just talk about games and movies and all kinds of pop culture nonsense and that kind of thing. So, you know, fellow YouTuber, known Chris for a while. That's my bag. That's my whole deal.
Okay, then. You want to tell them about the, I think I might have mentioned it to my friend Onyx. Shout outs to Onyx. But, we got an unreleased podcast episode. Unreleased.
Yes. We did record a full episode together. Unfortunately, we could not release it due to, by the time it was finalized, getting edited, some of the topics were outdated. But we did discuss the complaints that people were having with the fact that Multiverses was nominated, or not even nominated, won Fighting Game of the Year over KOF 15 when it was in beta at the time. And then it finally released this year fully after being taken offline for so long, and people were crying about that because, you know, winning Fighting Game of the Year is the most prestigious thing ever. That
Oh my
automatically gets
God.
you $1 million in sales right after you win that award.
I'm laughing over here in the back because I just remembered Creepy did allude to that, and he was saying that he was trying to trigger most of like the base here because not everybody obviously, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people that watch me are SNK fans. But and yeah, that's basically what we were talking about, because I think I've made my point on this clear, but for those of you that might have missed it somewhere, again, I understand, you know, wanting to see your favorites win and everything, but some people just kind of put a little too much stock into that. And if y'all are wondering what the noise is in the back, then they're enjoying the Olympics. So there you have that. Then I'm the odd one out. I haven't really been paying attention to the Olympics like that. Nothing against anybody, but no, seriously, like I'm just not deep into sports like that. But I do, you know, I know of certain like figures, like I know certain, you know, notable people that are there. Like I heard about Simone Biles. I heard about the women's like basketball team. Kind of funny. I'm talking about like a basketball team US, and it's like somebody would probably think about the US sports team from KOF that we haven't seen in a minute.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, that was our whole thing. But again, I just feel like people put a little too much stock into that freaking award or whatnot, because again, it didn't make me like Multiverses more, and it didn't make me dislike KOF 15 anymore either. Like again, before that whole award came up, I told y'all before, and it might be in a video where I was actually poking fun at like I was poking fun at something, I forgot what. Cause I don't know if this was the same year where was this when they shoehorned Sifu in there in that category?
Yes. Yeah, there was that same
Okay, so I was poking fun at that.
year.
I still voted for KOF 15, even though, like I said, I can read the room. This is a casual freaking audience, man. It's going to go to Multiverses. It's going to. And again, I still stand by what I said. KOF 15 did not do a great job at gripping that casual audience. They didn't.
Right.
Like, with this upcoming game, like Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, again, I'll have to see what the single player content is hitting on, but due to the fact that they at least understand that they need something like that in these games to probably broaden the appeal, that plus, the way everything is looking so far, they're actually trying this time, in my opinion. They're trying. That's just me. Some people are not into it, but it just is what it is. But that was like our unreleased episode. We kind of went to a whole bunch of other stuff. I really wish that, we didn't have the sound issue, because I think that was actually a killer episode. I really did.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because when I played it back through editing, I was like, damn, we had so many good conversations. And I'm just like, I can't fix this audio issue.
Not to mention, Vault here is like a comedic genius. The man's hilarious.
Appreciate that.
So, there is some news that has dropped as of the past week, and literally by chance, it seems like this particular episode is going to follow not follow, but just fall, if you will. It's
Right.
gonna fall into one big motif here, I guess. Because it's guest characters again. It's guest characters again. And for those of you that might have seen my fighting game guest character Iceberg, and they're thinking like, man, this right here needs an update, fear not. One is coming. When I said the end of this year is going to be icy, just saying. Because not only has there been some new stuff, there's some other stuff that I discovered with the help of some of you. Y'all pointed out some stuff that I forgot. So best believe there is an update coming. And for those of you that are saying, man, you shouldn't drop it like that, because at this rate, haven't you seen how they're dropping guest characters, man? Wait a little bit. Don't you worry. With every little bit, of depending on how it is from this point onwards, depending on how many guest characters there are, I have something in line for that too. Don't worry. We got that. That's another bonus for tuning into the podcast if you don't already. I will reveal and talk about future plans and future videos and tease some stuff here too. So there's that. But right now that we're talking about guest characters, I think y'all know where this is going. Good old Mortal Kombat 1 at this past SDCC. And it's kind of funny, they've done this at 2 Comic-Cons back to back. 2 Comic-Cons, 2 combat packs. Now, new pack came out. Pretty sure you all know who's in it, and if by some cosmic chance you don't, well, you come to the right spot, but I'm also questioning how you got here. But either way, regardless, I'm glad you're here, regardless of that. In this combat pack, we got the T-1000. Yeah, that T-1000. We got Ghostface. Not Ghostface Killer as you would have it in the Def Jam games, but just Ghostface. You got Noob Saibot. We got, I almost called her by that name that somebody on Twitter gave her. But we got Cyrax and Sector, who have been gender bent. And this might sound very plain to a lot of you, but somebody on Twitter had referred to the female Cyrax as Cyraxia. I'm just saying, I like that name. I like that. I think Vault disapproves of that.
Yeah.
Not feeling it.
No, it's weak.
He's like, it's weak. You just added 2 freaking characters to it, and boom, we did.
Yeah, it's like speaking fake Spanish, like adding ito to the end of a word.
Cyraxito.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got them. They're gender bent now. We got Conan the and then finally we have Conan the Barbarian. Now, y'all should know by now how the Mortal Kombat fandom gets, and if you don't, I'm actually very happy for your sanity.
Thank God.
I'm very happy for your sanity, and if you want to keep it like that, I would encourage you stray away, because it can get a little loony with that. And I'm not sure if I've said this on the previous podcast or a video, but I reserve that L word for very specific crazy people. But yeah, Mortal Kombat fandom, I'm not going to say most of them, I'm just going to say a lot. Most of them are not feeling it, because they feel like these 3 guest characters done taken slots from deserving Mortal Kombat characters. Like deserve, like, and I mean, I already talked about that in the last podcast. I made a video talking about, what exactly is a deserving character,
Right.
But with that being said, it's like the one thing that I never expected to see when it comes to people talking about fighting games, and at least with characters, we're getting into the age gap now. Because you got people saying like nobody over the age of 50 knows who them 3 guest characters are.
Oh, right.
And like I'm not even
Yeah.
the biggest film buff like that, but I know who all 3 of those characters are. I know who they are. Like with
Yeah.
Ghostface, like the thing with Ghostface for me was whenever I occasionally play freaking Dead by Daylight with like my big sis or whatnot, who started playing it because she loves Alan Wake. Loves Alan Wake. And even before then, like when I would play with other friends or whatnot, I always hated going up against that killer as Ghostface. Not Ghostface Killer, but Killer Ghostface in Dead by Daylight. I always hated playing
Uh,
against him. So now you got to deal with him in Mortal Kombat 1. At least we'll be able to see him and there won't be any sneaky mess. But it's like, regardless, I know who that is. I'm not over the age of
right.
50. And like, I haven't watched Conan the Barbarian, but I know about it because one random day I was reading about Arnold Schwarzenegger's history, like in, like where he came from and like his movie career and like he became a governor and all that other stuff. Like, I
Mhm.
know about it, but I'd never seen the movie. And the T-1000, it's like, some people are saying with the T-1000, they're saying the same exact thing they said when we got Freddy Krueger in Mortal Kombat 9, but he wasn't there for the sequel when Jason showed up. So it's like,
Yeah.
why'd you disable, or like why'd you give up that dream match?
Yeah, and I think it's really just a licensing thing.
Yep.
Uh, you just don't get the license back. You have
Yep.
to like probably go through the same channels, and then you got to request it all over again, and then it's just like the whole thing. And since they're guest characters, I imagine there's also not very much passion for the dev team to just want to recreate the same guest character in a new entry. They might want to go for other guest characters, especially since of the budget. Like, let's say it costs $500,000 to license Freddy Krueger. Do you want to use that $500,000 to do it again, or do you want to get all the Ninja Turtles for Injustice too? You know what I mean? So,
Which is interesting
uh,
considering between those two, only one of them is actually available for purchase.
oh, what the Freddy Krueger or the Ninja Turtles?
Far as I know, unless something happened, the Ninja Turtles should be still purchasable. Like if you like, look at the Injustice 2 DLC.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty.
There was something that happened with Wes Craven's estate, and thusly Freddy Krueger's DLC got pulled from stores, and also the complete edition that came with him, that one's not available either.
Mm, Jeez, that's weird.
Licensing, like I think you were on point when you were mentioning licensing, because it's like, I guess the licensing kind of came in clutch because, you were able to get like, Alien versus the Predator, albeit the
Mhm.
alien inherited some, like in one of those modes, he got some Tarkatan stuff about him, but still,
Right.
you still had it there. But, yeah. And what's so funny, like the thing that kind of drives me a little bit crazy about this, and I always kind of cackle inside whenever I say something drives me crazy, because that song from back then by that British band, Fine Young Cannibals, has been in my head. She drives me crazy. That verse has been in my head. But you know what's so crazy about this particular? Well, one thing that's crazy about this freaking combat pack with Mortal Kombat 11, there were 5 guest characters. 5 guest characters, and that was off of the strength of 2 combat packs and an extension, the Aftermath extension.
Right.
With this pass right here, we're on Combat Pack or Combat Pass, whatever they want to call it. Let's say Combat Pack, I guess. Second Combat Pack, MK1 out the gate already broke the previous game's record with 6. There are 3 in here, there are 3 in the first pack. And that first pack was definitely some cross promotion.
Hmm.
Like, at least for 2 of the characters more so. I don't know about Peacemaker, But Omni-Man and Homelander, that was cross-promotion. At that
Right.
very same San Diego Comic-Con, that very same Comic-Con where they freaking revealed that freaking pack, they also had revealed, or at least announced, that the second season of Invincible was coming. And then around the time that Homelander dropped, that's when, at least near the time, I want to say it's nearby, that's when that new season of The Boys came out, which is funny because I haven't really watched either show like that.
Mhm.
I'm far behind everybody else, but I mean, still, there it is. That cross promotion.
Right.
And it seems like that is just becoming the thing. Like, that has become like a really, I guess, primary trope when it comes to guest characters now. Because you got that, and you got Terry and Mai in freaking Street Fighter 6, and it's like, that was clearly. Like, I mean, understand, of course, I know everybody talks about, well, you know, Fatal Fury and Street Fighter have a history. Yeah, because they were created by the same person. But still, we do totally have a freaking new Fatal Fury coming.
Hmm.
You cannot tell me that that was not cross promotion. Like, and on top of that, a lot of people don't like the fact that you got two guest characters taking up slots for freaking Street Fighter characters in that pass. But at least in this particular case, they wanted to strike while we're on this hot iron path to freaking City of the Wolves, the new Fatal Fury.
Right.
So,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I didn't even think about it that way. Even knowing that City of the Wolves was coming out, I didn't even think about the fact that it is a cross promotion opportunity to have Terry and Mai in Street Fighter 6 um, to kind of boost, I guess, Fatal Fury's sales. Because that would help. Because they're coming out before Elena is, both of them, surprisingly, right? Or I
yeah.
could be mistaken, actually.
Also, I just looked it up, like, at least on Steam, the freaking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles DLC can still be purchased.
Oh, okay. Yes, I mean, it makes sense that they would kind of use it for that opportunity to say, hey, look, check this out. You like the guy in this game. How about you come buy this game? Wink, wink. Um, so, I mean, that is valid. But then that goes back to the question, why the fuck is the T-1000 in Mortal Kombat 1?
Yeah, you beat me
Because
to the
they're
punch
not
there.
trying to sell a new Terminator movie, are they?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that because I figured you would know it better than me. Because I'm like, I don't think any of these characters have. I don't think any of these characters have any movies coming out, like the guest characters. That is, I don't know.
No, I mean, Scream has a movie come out every 5 minutes. I feel like at this
Okay.
point. So maybe him, but even then, he doesn't need any promotion. Conan the Barbarian, maybe they'll be doing a remake or remaster soon. But I think these are more fucking. It's gonna Ed Boon getting characters that he likes in the game, as opposed to cross promotion. Because a lot of the characters that have gotten in, Ed Boon has said these were dream characters that he wanted in the game. Um, yeah, so he's done interviews where he said like he's at this point he's gotten everyone that he always dreamed of having in the game. So from Kratos to Alien to Predator to Leatherface to the Terminator, all of the yeah. He said he's at this point he's reached his dream character list, and now everyone else who comes in after that is like whatever. So I wonder if it's just Ed Boon wanting like, oh yeah, I grew up with Conan the Barbarian, can't wait to get him in the game. You know what I mean?
That'd be kind of crazy if that's the case, because it's almost like somebody could literally accuse him, even though it wouldn't be the case. Because I've seen some people that responded to this pack positively, and there's some that's like negative. It's just the negative gets blown up because everybody is so busy either poking fun at the people that are crying or pretty much starting arguments with them.
Right.
But it's almost like someone could argue, is like, is he playing to a crowd of one since he's talking about these are his dream characters? But again, I mean, he's not the only one out there really digging him, because there is another creator out there that definitely is liking Conan the Barbarian. And this guy went rogue on freaking Twitter. Good old ROOFLEMONGER. This freaking guy, and I'm a ROOFLEMONGER fan. Like, it's so weird to me because somebody was in one of my videos, like, Because all I did was Rooflemonger did a legitimate, actual, 100% real interview with SNK, and I think it was from him first that we got the information that King of Fighters 15 was going to get more characters. So I was citing just his interview because I think he was the first person that got that information, and somebody comes in, oh, I hate Rooflemonger. He called me this, and it's like, so?
Right.
You can hate him all you want to, but we did get this information from him first, so just saying. I mean, I don't know what. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
that's supposed to mean. You know, he got the interview. It's not like he's some of these other creators that act like they have backstage access to information when they don't. But
Right.
but that man went rogue. Like I almost said, like, isn't that like a genre of a game like roguelike? I almost said the genre, but yeah, like he went ham. Because of course many people were saying, like, you know, and there's one little bit of rhetoric I can't stand that's been going around. And it's even more ironic because one of the people that I saw that had said this, they were young, but they were talking like a lot of old people try to, or people that try to come off as old or whatever. Like, I miss the days that Mortal Kombat was just Mortal Kombat and not horror slasher, the freaking crossover game. Or as a matter of fact, since I know you play Smash a bunch, I think the person that referred to it is like, it's like Smash for, like, I guess horror characters or something like that or whatever, because they got 6 guest characters in the shit.
Is that what people are saying? Because they keep getting hard?
I saw someone make that parallel. They tried to make that comparison with Smash. They were saying, like, pretty much with the amount of guest character this game has, it's turning into Smash Brothers or something like that. Which, like, it's only 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an amalgamation of like all these different brands. Like that's not what it's based off of. The base roster didn't like launch with Freddy Fazbear as the main character or anything. Like,
Somebody gonna be like, don't give him any ideas now.
right? But Fighter Pack 3 is gonna be Freddy Fazbear, Barney, and Poppy Playtime.
He was actually in a freaking he was actually in a fighting game, Barney, but like it was, I forgot what the name of the game was, but in the game he was referred to as Blarney, and he looked up he was like a deformed version of like the character Barney.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't think that. I think that's an unfair criticism. A fair criticism would be certain characters didn't make a return, and we also didn't receive an alternative for those characters. Like Sonya Blade and Jax. We didn't get like one of the combat kids the way Cassie and Jackie kind of were the alternatives for Sonya and Jax in MKX, and they were only cameos. So I think that's a fair criticism because if you
Well, we got Takeda
because
back. We at least got Takeda.
yeah, we finally got Takeda back.
Even though, like, do you see what they did with his story?
No, I don't pay attention to MK. You know what?
So
'Cause
you
I have a video I want to come out.
so what do you so before MK1, where everything kind of went pants on head crazy, originally when Takeda was first introduced, he was Kenshi's son.
Kenji's son.
Yeah, Kenshi. He's Kenshi Takahashi's son. That's where like his name
Okay.
comes from. In MK1, they're cousins.
Okay.
The sound of silence.
Yeah.
By the
I'm
way,
trying.
that obscure game that had Blarney in it, its name Alien Bloodsport Xenophage or Xenophage Alien Bloodsport.
Does not sound like a real game.
It was on like MS DOS 1996, so that's
Okay.
it is obscure. All the guest characters in here. Oh, we talking about all the guest characters.
That's
Guest
funny.
character special because I got a special guest on the freaking. But yeah, like that to me was kind of funny. It's like retcon a father and a son to being cousins now.
Yeah.
Strange doesn't do it justice, but okay. All right.
I mean, I guess. I mean, that was what they were doing, right? Now, freaking Sub-Zero and Scorpion are brothers, so
Yeah, because I remember we talked about this. Is like I give them credit for trying something different, and I
Oh,
guess
I
they
don't.
figured I give them some like for trying like at least attempting to I guess justify another rebooting of the storyline, which that went out the door because those of you that know about it. Those of you that know don't know, you know. I can't,
Yeah.
man. Because I like the fact it's like, okay, you want to try to. Liu Kang thinks that he can prevent some stuff by switching relations and everything. Okay, good, but like, not a lot came from that, though.
I also think he doesn't know how resetting a timeline works. That's like if I said, you know what, I'm gonna reset the timeline of our modern world and start everything new. And then when you come back to my new world, the freaking number one basketball player in the world's name is Kebron James. And I'm like, haha, that's new, right? That's completely different. It's like, no, you barely did anything. Like, most of the shit looks the exact same.
You switch the letter.
He's like, yeah, no, but he's not Shao Kahn anymore. He's General Shao. Huh? Look, it's different, right? It's like, no, that's the same fucking guy. What are you talking about?
It's kind of crazy because it seems less like somebody trying to make a new time. It's like a mishmash of somebody who's trying to make a timeline, but they're also selling you like a knockoff product.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
it's like.
that's
I'm
what
gonna
you're
I'm gonna
basically
restart the whole freaking franchise. Well, whole franchise, the whole timeline. And I'm somebody who wants to specifically target food and freaking restaurants or whatever. It ain't
right.
Domino's, it's Dominic's Pizza.
Yeah,
It ain't Subway, it's Subday. It ain't Dunkin' Donuts, it's Donkey Donuts.
that's basically
Oh,
all
you.
he
Go ahead. Go ahead.
he just slightly swapped letters around and expected us to believe it was a new timeline. It pisses me off so much. Even in the first trailer, I was like, not much has changed. This is the same timeline.
And you know what's so funny? It's like with the example like we're giving and everything, like me changing up all the names of those freaking restaurants. I mean, yeah, I changed the name, but they're still selling the same stuff.
Yeah,
It's Dominic's Pizza is still selling pizza.
yeah, exact same thing.
What is it? What is it like? What's their trademark? What is it? Something trivial like, oh, we have the world's most tastiest pineapple soda.
Yeah. I don't even know what Dominic's vibe is, or it's not Dominic's. Now I'm in the new timeline. I shifted into the Dominic's timeline.
Oh my god! But like in the beginning, I thought it was interesting. But like you and I talked about this because it seemed like even with the changes, it kind of seemed like everything was just going to end up being Mortal Kombat business as usual.
Yeah,
Like, okay, Tarkat is a disease instead of like like a race of people and everything. But
right,
what
right,
did
right.
they do with them? They isolated them and they basically lived amongst each other and became a community.
Exactly. It's so, and it's like, yeah, this disease is life threatening and it will kill anyone who gets it. Not this community though. They're just gonna live and be a race of people now. But it's not. It's a different timeline. I promise. It's like, stop bullshitting me, okay?
Oh, these freaking fighting game stories. We done went from freaking being ticked off about freaking like villains coming back like quickly after. It ain't even just that, cause I'm tired of talking about Bison. I'm tired. Like I didn't know M Bison had such obnoxious fans, man. There was somebody on Twitter who saw that I was like I like same thing I had said like in my video reacting to him or whatever. I rated the trailer 6 out of 10. I like how he looks. I like the new design and everything, but not enough to make me want to break out the wallet and put down the dough or break out the card and buy him. And then like
Right.
somebody saw that and they were just desperately trying to sell me Bison. Come on, man, try Bison. You gotta give him a fair shot. It's like it's a paid freaking DLC character. Like, no, I already told you I'm not even really a Bison fan. I mean, come on, man, come on. Like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm like, you being a freaking weirdo. He's like, I'm not trying to be a weirdo for real, man. Just try Bison. You'll like what? What? And all these freaking people that think that people like me that are upset that it's Bison back or ill. This freaking mess is so stupid. My freaking sentence just freaking crapped out right there. But people that are getting on my case, like myself and others, Scotia, shout outs to Scotia, who are critical of the fact that they brought Bison back so soon, y'all automatically think we don't know the lore. We do. We know the lore. We know he has all those spare bodies. And we'll even agree that, yes, on paper, when it comes to storytelling, it makes sense. Doesn't mean that it's still not rudimentary and boring. Heard so many people, they've been doing this with Bison since the 90s. You make that seem like it's a flex, but on top of that, you kind of just gutted yourself because you started in the 90s and you can't do anything different with this guy. Like literally almost like the stuff we talked about with freaking Mortal Kombat, it's almost a one-to-one with what they did with Bison. Because Bison came back, he had amnesia, which again, nice try at trying to bring a little something new to the storyline. But then Shadaloo basically came back. It's Shadaloo again. It's just now Shadaloo's leader is still trying to remember who he is. Right. Okay. And it's like, again, we ain't even saying he need to stay out, but it's like you got another one of these epic battle sequels. It was an epic battle, and Charlie Nash sacrificed himself. And then it's epic battle, and you brought him back, like, quickly. Same thing with Heihachi, that big old epic battle. Somebody out there on YouTube, I forgot who, did a nice little compilation of every single time within, like, the canon and some of the non-canon games, but mostly they focus on the canon stuff, about every clash that freaking Kazuya and Heihachi had. And you have it with Tekken 7, you have this big old freaking epic battle, this epic showdown between Kazuya and Heihachi yet again. Another epic battle with one of these long-time heels, long-time villains and all this other stuff. And then Heihachi goes down, and then what happens? Next game, first pass, boom.
Guess who's back?
Back again. Jesus Christ, man. Like, I'm not going to talk too much mess about him because, again, that story hasn't come out yet, and I think they're going to, like, have it, like, as an extension or whatever, but it's like I said before, and this is the only point that I have, and I'm going to say it again. Don't kill off these characters when you know damn well you basically have an appointment to bring them back. Like, Scotia saw something from Capcom where they said that they knew they were going to bring Bison back, so why even bullshit with the death angles? Like, death angles are... death angles for the... Just stop. Just stop.
Well, that's interesting, because does it minimize the impact of the story if a character is brought back? Because think about it. Did you watch, like, Avengers Infinity War?
Yes.
At the end... 50%, were snapped away.
Right.
Of course, us as an audience knew they are going to come back in some way, shape, or form, because that's the hero's journey. You fall, you get back up, and that's the heroic ending at the end of Endgame. Does that ruin the quality of the product beforehand because we know how the hero's journey works because the character comes back? Because we knew Spider-Man wasn't going to stay dead forever.
Right.
And he came back in the next movie. So the question is, if the medium is known for this, like comic books are known for this.
It's interesting you mentioned comic books because that is what people have compared fighting game deaths to. It's comic book stuff.
Yeah. So is it worse off because of that? Or is it just something that as a audience, because comic books have existed longer than the fighting game genre, so that's why more people are used to that in comic books.
Yeah.
But as the fighting game genre continues to evolve, is it now something that we just need to anticipate for the future? Because it didn't just start recently. Even back in the day, the Sub-Zero that we know currently isn't. Bihan died, and then it was Kuai Liang. And then the Scorpion died, and he became a Revenant, and all these. So the death and rebirth or the death and comeback thing is just so prevalent in media. is it something we just have to accept now and just be like, well, maybe we'll see them again along the lines, but that was a good story for what it was at the time.
So, great points. Great points. Here's my thing. I can't speak for anybody else. I can only speak for me. Like, I know Scotia might have, and I mentioned Scotia because, like, that's the one other person prominently that I know that has talked about this topic. Roof did
Mhm.
chime in on it, Roofelmonger, who we're going to hear from in a little bit. Not as a guest, but we're going to. I'm not that good. I ain't that good. I'm not that good. I'm
Right.
not that prevalent or whatnot, but we're going to, like, actually see, just a little slight, I guess, reason as to why people flipped out at him so much.
Hmm.
But here's my thing. Because somebody else, see, I wish the person that had said this would have approached it like you have. Because at least from what I've mostly seen, like people who are arguing, like, saying that this is kind of BAU, like business as usual in this case, or like comic book stuff, they never like argue it like that. It's always got to be like, for instance, one person, like, why is everybody so shocked? They've been killing the Mishimas and bringing them back for a while now. Nobody's shocked. Like, people like me are tired of that.
Hmm.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I'm going to try to specify it. A lot of people, whether it be like, I even like my friend Larry, who's supposed to be here, but he got, got tied up in something. And many other people have said it too. If they wanted to bring him back, they like Bison, that is, they would have preferred it at like a later pass or whatnot, like later in the game's like run or whatever.
Hmm.
I'm cool with that. I would even prefer it like to be like the next Street Fighter, but of course Capcom ain't gonna have the gall to do that. It's Bison. It's freaking nostalgia. It's gonna sell. It's gonna sell. It's gonna sell. If you
Right.
are freaking nostalgia that is going to sell, you have the best freaking plot armor of any freaking character in freaking fighting games. You do.
Yeah.
But like, here's the difference between what Avengers did and what some of these fighting games do. Now, for one, the reason why we knew, or in most cases, like any of us that are hardcore nerds when it comes to like MCU and comics and everything, you knew about it first of all because you've seen the story. Even though, of course, there are some details that do deviate from the story.
Hmm.
The original story where this popped off wasn't even called Infinity War; it was called Infinity Gauntlet.
Right.
And then it's like the snap didn't even like come at the end of that. The snap kicked everything off.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in the way they made it work. So there's source material there that they can lean on. But like, at least when it comes to fighting games, see, here's like the one gripe that I have. JP was established as the new big bad in this case, which
Hmm.
parallels quite well with the fact that we have new character, like, the face of the game, or at least like the main protagonists in like not air quotes, but like plural, excuse me. They, I'm gonna get y'all for that. No, I thought like a notification went off, but maybe it didn't get picked up. It's whatever. But yeah. So where was I? Yeah, we had new. The thing is, we had new antagonist who obviously had ties to Bison because he had his own. He had his own freaking little bit of psycho power. So there were obviously links there. But it's like, why not push this guy? Now, a lot of people, and I'll acquiesce at this point, Bison might be back, but he might not just be a focal point of things.
Right. Okay.
Like, JP may still be like the primary guy here, which if they do that, cool. I am just not a fan of the fact that when they make these new characters and it's like all of a sudden they just give up on them. Now, if by some chance the fan reaction or whatever it is that you want to measure, far as like this character's a failure, unless something like that comes into the mix, then I don't get it. Because it's like, I can understand it's like, well, we're gonna trash this character because it's like, oh, they're a failure, they're not popular, or even they'll trash characters when they don't even want them, they being the staff.
Right.
And it's like, even like, look at like when Kazuya had first died, then that made way, or at least helped make way for Jin to come in.
Hmm.
And then he came back, and then there was another layer added to that story.
Okay, I see your point. So you're saying that
I just don't
perhaps we
see it
should have had
like I
had a
just my bad.
Street Fighter 6 without Bison, and then Street Fighter 7 he comes back in. give time for JP to be a more prevalent
Oh,
force or
yeah,
something.
yeah, but unfortunately, I feel like I have to acquiesce to this point too. But I feel like Capcom kind of booked themselves into a corner with that character just by the way they wrote him.
Mm,
I mean, people have aptly said that killing this dude Bison is like killing a ghost. So, just saying, they're not wrong, but like it's getting redundant still. Like that's the thing. It's like, can I like that's my whole thing, which I was like, I can say that even though it makes sense, I'm not the biggest fan of it, right? But apparently
right.
not. Apparently not. Apparently not. Because again, people are still like again, especially Scotia, it's like and I've name dropped him so many times, but like Scotia's awesome. But I know
Mhm.
like he's at the forefront, or he might not like that. But he's like one of the most prominent people I know that really stumps for like Street Fighter 3, representation in Street Fighter 6.
Right.
And I mean, it makes sense. Chronologically, this game comes after that game in terms of the storyline. Not like, of course, with the additions, but chronologically within the story's timeline, it does come after Street Fighter 3, and yet the presence of Street Fighter 3 characters is minimal given what we know now. But everybody brings up, oh, remember like back with Street Fighter 3 freaking nearly cost Capcom. And it's like, okay, that was then. What about now? I literally had people, I literally heard people talking about nothing but freaking Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Evo so much then. Whether it was because of the game or whether it was because of Hayao.
Right.
And again, people like these characters. Again, Capcom, this is me telling you, it's okay. We are not in the year where Street Fighter 3 came out and everything just kind of just went bloop. It didn't. We're past that now. It's okay. It's okay. But that's just the thing. It's like the reason why it gets to me is the fact that for at least Street Fighter 6, at least for me in my opinion, they had an avenue open to go without freaking Bison. You
Mhm.
got a decent new antagonist. And I think I might have botched that earlier, but no, I don't think so. I'm thinking earlier I might have mistakenly called him a protagonist, but whatever.
No,
They
no.
got they got a decent new antagonist, and I mean, if they were really going to invest in this new age, because Luke's first game was not Street Fighter 6, it was 5.
Right.
And they told us, Capcom told us from the jump, this kid right here is going to be the future of Street Fighter going forward. And they stood on that. But now it's like, okay, new age protagonist. Of course, they paired him off with like a newer age antagonist, but then Shadaloo is back to doing stuff again. Shadaloo again as usual. It's just now the head guy has got amnesia. And credit to Capcom, I liked in this story where they pulled the mess, where in the beginning they were referring to like, in a visual novel type of format where they like have the text for like the characters talking and everything. They were referring to
Mhm.
Bison as just like a mystery man. I like that little touch right there.
Right.
I even jokingly said like it would be kind of funny if they pulled the Guilty Gear like they did with Bedman, but like in Strive it's Bedman with a question mark and it's like M Bison with a question mark. But
Mm.
I guess Capcom would have felt like the crowd might have been like, are y'all trying to like they'd be like, are you trying to insult our intelligence? He's doing all of his moves. Like I don't care if he ain't got the outfit and everything. He's got the voice. He's got the same creepy smile, even though he looks like a freaking zombie. Like that's him.
Right.
You think we stupid, Capcom? Do you really? But like again, I'm tired of talking about Bison. Like I didn't realize Bison had so many freaking weird fanboys. And the person that was begging me to try him in his freaking mind, he thought that I was jealous of the fact that Bison got released before any of the other characters. I'm like, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? As my aunt who is like, well, my cousin, excuse me, as my cousin who's super intelligent would say, what the facetiousness does this mean? Really?
Yeah.
I don't care if he was the first DLC character released or the last one. I'm still not gonna buy him.
Yeah.
I've been said I am not a Bison fan. I gave him a fair chance. I looked at the freaking gameplay trailer, and like I said, it wasn't trash, but it didn't sell me on him. Like, you want a character that I was looking at that off rip I wasn't really feeling, but then I look at the freaking gameplay trailer and it sold it to me. Look at the very first character in Under Night 2's freaking character pass, Uzuki. Like, again, even though some people might think I'm a sucker for this design because she's got like the whole gothy thing kind of going on or whatnot, but I don't think the design's bad. It's just off, like, just cosmetically I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But then that freaking gameplay trailer came out. You got her freaking got her own take on the Totsugeki, but like she's riding on these freaking skeletal freaking beast creatures. She's got all these really crazy, like her freaking regular throw involves her enlarging her hat and putting you inside of it and smacking you around and everything. Like the whole necromancy gimmick with her moveset, I'm like, okay, I'm sold. This character's dope.
Right.
Sorry, not sorry, Bison fans, but he didn't do it for me. Sorry, not sorry. What you want me to say?
They want you to play him. They want you to play him, and they want you to love the character.
Freaking pay me and maybe I'll try. But yeah, like, getting back to what I mentioned, like I said, we're going to hear from ROOFLEMONGER, but like I said, he ain't going to be here, but this man went ham. So now we're going to listen to ROOFLEMONGER's take on the characters, because those of you that are on Twitter, that man went crazy. He went crazy. Like, he even responded to my friend Onyx Blade on there, because Onyx was like, where's Jade? And ROOFLEMONGER said, in the trash where she belongs, he said. That is my favorite Mortal Kombat character to this day. And I still,
Jade?
yes, love Jade. And even to this day, like, I'm a Roof fan and I'm still a fan of Roof. I say that because, again, I don't know why some of y'all get up in arms where it's like some creator, whether they're like, you know, like in our tier, like mine and Vault's tier when it comes to our audiences, whether it's a smaller creator than us, whether it's a larger creator, whether it's a godlike, like, you know, the freaking Maximilian types and the Justin Wongs and all them. I don't see why y'all get up in arms when somebody disses your character. It's going to happen. This man, ROOFLEMONGER, freaking just trashed my favorite Mortal Kombat character, and I did not feel the need to go in and like, I must go in and defend the honor of Jade. Like, no. No, there was no need for that. I literally had freaking people that are upsetting me about Maxima, the robot character in KOF. So much so, this person responded to my comment on another creator's video talking about Maxima. I'm like, what is up? Like, does me not liking Maxima hurt your feelings that bad?
Yes.
Jeez.
And they had to hunt you down to let you know.
Jeez, man. Like, I have never felt the need to defend any of my favorite characters from creators, because it's gonna come. All those freaking times I had to hear people talk about Alice from freaking Fatal Fury, who made her debut in King of Fighters. Alice is just the blonde, Joyzy girl version of Shingo. Like, so I still like Alice. And I still hope she makes it in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I don't care what anybody says. But let's see how badly the ROOFLEMONGER just bodied all the freaking angry MK fans.
Okay, fair enough. Lots of goodies there, but obviously there's a lot more. And I guess now let's talk the roster. Now, what we're seeing for the roster, just before we get into it, is playable characters. They have not announced any cameos just yet. Not to say that there won't be any cameos, just that they're not tied to the combat pack. If there was no cameos at all, I think that'd be kind of weird, actually.
I did not know that.
So, to be announced, I'm sure. So, for our second combat pack, we're getting 3 guests, 3 Mortal Kombat last time. And for guests, we're getting Ghostface from...
I know he did not originate in Dead by Daylight, but like anytime I see Ghostface, I just think of Dead. I hate playing against that fucking character. I hate it. I hate it. Him, freaking, Myers, like, no.
Right.
There's several other characters I hated playing against in Dead by Daylight, but like I said, I'm super casual when it comes to DBD, so probably on me.
Right.
Scream, we're getting the T-1000 of Terminator 2 fame, you know, the most famous action movie of all time. And also on the Terminator note, sort of, but not quite, we're getting Conan the Barbarian. You know, like
Oh, it's because they're both Arnold. Is
Yeah,
that what he meant by that?
basically.
Is that what he meant by
Yeah.
that? I remember they had said that the reason why he didn't voice Terminator in MK11 was some people speculate that he didn't want to be a hypocrite because I guess like back when he was a governor, he was I guess against violent video games and stuff like that. But I
No,
guess he didn't. So what?
I doubt that's why. It's
Okay.
probably because he just didn't feel like it.
Could be that right there because I mean they did score the original guy for RoboCop. I don't know. Like, I know of the RoboCop character, but I have never seen any of the movies. Surprise, surprise! I learned about RoboCop because RoboCop, and it's so funny. This motif for this freaking podcast even comes in that case. He made a guest appearance on an episode of a WCW World Championship Wrestling show where he saved
Oh,
Sting. I kid you not, that actually happened. RoboCop showed up and he saved Sting.
it's so
Look it up
random.
if you look it up if you do not believe me. It happened. Guest appearances all over the place, man. But I know they got like the original RoboCop guy, I think. I know Sylvester Stallone did Rambo because I think they had him record his stuff from his home because this was during the pandemic. I know it's pandemic, but
Mm.
I call it pandemic. I ain't going into that. But who else? And they even got Keith David to do Spawn.
Yeah,
That
but
they
Keith
could
David's like a voice actor already, so it makes sense that he did it.
but they got freaking Sylvester Stallone in like the original freaking I think one of like I said, I don't know anything about RoboCop. I just know the guy that they had. I know he was in. I think he was him in one of the movies.
Is that Peter Weller who's
Yes,
RoboCop?
yes, yes. Yeah, I think it is Peter Weller. Yeah, I just remember like that last name rung a bell. Weller.
Mm, yeah.
They actually got him for that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
They did say that the guy they picked to voice Terminator, Chris Cox. They say that Arnold picked him personally.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, at least Arnold picked somebody he thought did the voice well enough.
Yeah, because somebody had like a nice little video out there where it was a caption where they were like saying this is how he and the guy he picked actually were practicing. And it was one of those videos where I guess Arnold was around as a Terminator and like he was like running into people and he was staying in character or whatnot. And he found like another Terminator cosplayer and they were reciting lines back and forth.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, clearly, I mean, you might be right because, I mean, looking at it now, I mean, the whole violent video game thing, I mean, his likeness is here and his likeness was in the previous one, so I don't think he minded it too much.
Yeah, I think he just didn't care to be like do the voiceover
This reminds me of
because
like
he
your
was
watch
also
along.
in
Go ahead. My bad.
he was also in the newest Terminator, so clearly he didn't care that much about violence.
Yeah. I was gonna say that kind of reminded me of during your watch along for the last Game Awards where I think the first award was like for voice actor and I think Idris Elba was nominated but he wasn't there.
Yeah,
'Cause I think you laughed at the fact it's like, imagine.
yeah. It's because like I thought it was just so funny because they had all the other voice actors who were in the audience come up on the screen, as they were saying like, "Oh, here's the nominees," and then it was just a fucking PNG of Idris Elba because he didn't fucking show up.
Yeah. Are you like? I just remembered it. Even though I don't think it was that Game Awards. I think it might have been the previous year. But you into Hozier at all, like the musician?
Oh, I love Hozier. He's fantastic.
My close friend Jen also loves him. And I had told her that like I had known about the song "Take Me to Church," and I only know about it because I used to work at a Halloween store, and it had like they would play the same CD over and over unless this one guy, if he was managing, he would switch it up. Like he would have Pandora going and stuff like that.
Mm.
But with anybody else, they played that same freaking CD and it has all these goofy freaking soulless covers of popular songs. And it's like they took all of like the passion and the freaking soul and just everything out of their rendition of Take Me to Church. But
Oh,
I had
really?
known, but I had known that was a song before. That's
Okay.
where like I know one time, I don't think it was last. I think it was the Game Awards before last because that was where God of War was all over the freaking place.
Yeah, that
Ragnarok.
was it was the year before the most recent one.
I haven't really delved into his music yet, but like that Blood Upon the Snow song, and I guess I'll probably never play God of War ever because it's just not my thing. But I love that song. And
Song's
what?
fantastic.
So what?
That song is fantastic.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I loved it. Like as a matter of fact, I think I heard the first time when he performed it there when I was watching your watch along.
Uh,
It's like, but then yeah, I was talking to my friend Jen about, I was like, because she actually went to see him live. I think like a week or so ago or something like that.
mm,
And I was telling him like, well, I know about Take Me to Church, but then there's also this song he did for God of War, and like, to my surprise, she actually said she was a God of War fan. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I've known Jen for a while, but like, never really struck me as like a gamer type because I would always like back then I wasn't that aware, but nowadays I'm more aware of it. I would if I'm explaining something gamer to you, you have to kind of like tone down on some of the things that might be super foreign. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
right,
like,
right,
she knew
right.
what God of War was. I'm like, oh wow. And then when I even played her the song, she said it sounds like something literally that would fit like in like one of his albums. So I'm like, oh.
Hmm.
And I even went to look up to see like how he came about even putting that song together, and the process was glorious.
Oh yeah, no, he's an insanely talented and unique musician. So hearing that, because I heard it when I first played the game all the way through, and then seeing him at the Game Awards, like, geez, this guy's really good.
Yeah, 'cause I think you asked like what instrument was the guy playing. I was like, that's called a hurdy-gurdy.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The guy was playing the what the fuck on stage. And just came out with that. And I was like, what is that?
I only know that because there was like a program that I used to use all the time when I was younger, when I would hog my mom's computer and everything. And for some reason, like it would just be like a whole bunch of random pieces of information about various different things from like geography, music, and sports and history and stuff like that. There was a
Mhm.
game they had on there where you would like match the instrument to like its country of origin. And like that's where I learned about the hurdy-gurdy because I think the hurdy-gurdy was originated in Germany, I want to say.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember because I remember telling you that you was like, "What? No way, no way, it's called that."
These weird ass names. It's like like the didgeridoo. Like, what are we doing?
Didgeridoo. Oh my god! Somehow we got there from old Arnold as Conan the Barbarian. But let us continue.
Almost the most famous fantasy character of all time, the guy who's literally the inspiration for Dungeons and Dragons.
Didn't know
Nope,
that.
it's not Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
And we have Noob Saibot, we have Sector and Cyrax, who are ladies this time around. Thanks, Liu Kang. And I think this is a pretty strong pack all around. If you go on Twitter, you'd think this is the worst pack of all time. But frankly, I find most of these people complaining kind of downright idiots. Like, yeah, I know Sonya.
Is that why y'all got mad? He just called y'all downright idiots.
Yeah, they like to think they're intelligent, so that hit them where it hurts.
I find most
going.
of these people complaining kind of downright idiots.
Sorry, I played it
Like,
twice,
yeah, I
but
know Sonya's still a
I'm
cameo.
not.
You don't like it, but guess what?
Mhm.
T1000's gonna outsell Sonya 10-1. Like, get real. There's a
Oh,
reason why guest
Whoa.
character.
oh, that's why they got mad. They said the T1000 is gonna outsell. So
Yeah, it's not just outsell her. 10 times more sales.
he said,
Big
let me
so,
1000's gonna outsell Sonya 10-1. Like, get real about it.
Ooh.
There's a reason why guest characters keep happening, and I can't believe I have to say this every time because people still don't understand. It's because they make way more money and sell way more units than normal characters.
yeah,
how are we feeling about
true.
that?
I agree. I mean, he's not wrong because, I mean, you tell the layman, hey, buy Mortal Kombat because Omni Man's in it, he's gonna buy it. You tell him, hey, buy it because they brought back Onaga, he's gonna say, I don't know what the fuck a Onaga is. So it's just true that he's gonna sell a lot more copies based off of guest characters.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't think I would say the same. He's not wrong because I feel like, again, I feel like fighting game fans have spent so much time in the bubble of fighting game fandom that at the same time, while they're saying we need to like find a way to draw the casuals, and then like on the other hand, they get mad when stuff like this is done, which is definitely going to and seemingly has, provably has, even has drawn casuals.
Right.
Like, you have to like consider what types of people are in the audience here. You got people like me who play these games like pretty much hardcore. And even like amongst the hardcore base, you have to think about it. There's hardcore players that are gonna just want Mortal Kombat characters. But there's also hardcore players that are probably fans of these characters too. You have hardcore players that probably don't know the first thing about them, but seeing like competitive players, and I mean like competitive, and especially if it turns out one of these freaking guest characters is meta, they're getting purchased.
Right. Yeah.
So it's
Absolutely.
like out of just those couple of groups that I mentioned already, it seems like there is more people likely to buy than not. And even then, people still think, like what you just mentioned, people still think that is just some weirdo fantasy concept or something. There's nobody out there just buying Mortal Kombat because Omni-Man is in it. You're crazy.
No,
Again, I'm
absolutely.
going back to my big sis again that loves herself some freaking Alan Wake. Because she only picked up DBD when Alan Wake was there. And then on top of that, I think they even put him in freaking Fortnite, I think. Didn't they? Isn't he in Fortnite too?
Yes, he is in Fortnite. Yep.
And I remember she was like, asking how could she get freaking Alan. There are people that will do it. I don't know like if they are the majority or the minority, but they are definitely there.
Oh, it's definitely enough because I don't like Mortal Kombat. Period. Like as a franchise, I don't like Mortal
You
Kombat.
come to the right
But
space because you ain't gonna have people like, man, then you gonna invite somebody that don't like more.
True. Yeah. Yeah, but with MK1, I almost bought it because Omni Man was added, and I thought he looked cool. I was this close to buying it, but I was like, am I really gonna buy this whole game for one character? But I stopped myself. There are a lot of people out there who won't, especially with Homelander and Omni Man in that pack. There are a lot of people out there who were just, no, I'm absolutely buying this.
And it's like you're right there, and it's like I don't see why people can't fathom that. We as fighting game fans, we do that sometimes. We've all done that in some way, shape, or form. Like for me, I did not buy Tekken 7 when it came out. I bought that game after they had revealed that Julia was coming back. That's my favorite Tekken character, Julia. I was
Mm,
actually tempted to freaking pick it up when Geese got revealed. I mean, I did play it because some friends of mine did have it, so I did play Geese a little bit, and it was pretty cool. It
right.
almost enticed me to buy it, but like something else distracted me. I forgot what, but something else did. So like, I don't see why it's such a freaking far-fetched concept when it comes to guest characters. Like, we've all at one point or another. You know what? Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Many of us.
You're about to
Many
piss
of
every,
us. Was to say what?
you're about to piss everybody off.
I'm
Like,
trying
what do you
like
mean, all of us?
I try to watch my words and everything, man. It's like, but even when you're at your most, even when you're at the utmost clarity and people still take you out of context, I'll still be at the utmost clarity. But it's like many of us at one point or another, there's been a point where many of y'all have just bought a game, like a fighting game, off the strength of just a single character being in it. Even if you warmed up to the other characters or whatever down the line, come on now. We've all said like, oh snap, such and such is in here, instant buy.
Right.
Why is that so hard to fathom when it comes to guest characters? Why? And for me,
No.
it's like even characters, like I said, I know of these three guest characters. I never really watched a Scream movie in full. Only seen partial, like whenever like they'll pop up on the freaking like TV broadcasting or whatever. I've never really delved into any of the franchises these guest characters are in, but I know who they are.
Right.
And with me, I say the same thing every time. It's the same thing that happened with Uzuki. I might not be sold on them just by you showing them to me, but it's a fighting game, as y'all love to say when it comes to talk about, story doesn't matter in the fighting game, it's about the fighting. Well, yeah, I know it's about the fighting. I don't know. Also, as a side note, I don't get what is up with the fighting game fandom not understanding the concept that we can have both. I don't think no other fandom in gaming just doesn't understand that like the fighting game fandom does. We can have both. There are people out there, sure, that like the story elements and character development when it comes to fighting games, but you know what? They also like the fighting too.
Right.
But anyways.
And I guess it's more like what's gonna sell a game. You know what I mean? And that's the tough part. Or like what can sell copies and what can keep people coming back for more. You definitely have to have that balance of great characters that people want to play and engaging mechanics that people want to utilize. So that's what keeps people coming back to certain things. Because you can have all the greatest, or you can have the best roster that everyone loves, but no one was gonna want to play your fucking game. Case in point, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Great roster, cool characters,
Yeah.
shit combat that people didn't like.
And there was even some complaints with that game about the roster because
No X-Men.
yeah, basically. And it's like on top of that, they knew what it was that they were doing when it came to those character choices. They were
Yeah,
leaning in heavily to the MCU, which I feel like some people would have tolerated if there was just like more of a balance. There it is again, balance.
yeah,
But that's what I was getting at because it's like any one of these three freaking DLC characters could sell me on the gameplay. And it's possible. Like I said, it's happened before with Azuki and Under Night.
right.
There was somebody in one of the podcast clips I put out there where they were talking about they think people are being too harsh, and it's like, can't we just let SNK and Capcom and all these companies, can't we just let them cook? And it's like, well,
Yeah,
in terms of SNK, I think they're cooking when it comes to Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
right.
KOF 15, not so much. Like, far as I'm concerned, when it comes to like the current like ongoing character passes that are going on right now, even though it's just one character, for me currently right now, like Under Night 2 is winning for me right now. Under Night 2 is winning for me right now. Like KOF 15, again, I don't hate Vice and Mature, but I'm not doing backflips over them coming back either. Just saying.
Right.
I'm happy for everybody that is, but this is me talking here. With Capcom, Street Fighter 6, with the current pass, when we get down the line there, and if freaking Terry, Mai, and Andy, I said Andy, somebody is gonna roast me for that. If I freaking said Andy, Terry, don't you dare put freaking Andy Bogart and freaking his brother, by the way. Don't you put Andy Bogart in no freaking. I'm gonna get roasted so hard for that. It's whatever. But if all three of these other characters freaking really show out, then cool. I'll probably shift the Street Fighter Season 2, Year 2, whatever you want to call it. I'll shift them to the top. Who else is out there doing stuff? But like far as I'm concerned, like currently it's just Bison that's out there, and I don't really care about Bison, and Bison didn't sell me, so down the line he goes. Who else is out there? Tekken 8. I don't care about any character that is in that freaking pass right now. Eddie Gordo is cool, but Eddie has not been a character that I ever mained, so there's that. Same way I feel about Lydia, and on top of that, I'm glad that Lydia is not a one-game character and they brought her back, but again, not a character that I'm invested in. And I don't give to quote Simon Miller, I don't give two hoots about Heihachi. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, somebody has the theory that I guess based on a scene from his trailer at Evo, they think that he was brought back by like some blood voodoo magic or something. Which that'd be cool, but
Yeah. I mean, That'd be neat, I guess, but I mean, who really cares? It's like, I guess that'd be cool, but honestly, they could do whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. So like, far as like current games and their character passes for me so far with right now, Under Night 2 is winning. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves isn't even out yet. Like I can't think of anything else. It's like they're winning right now. And honestly, I have been playing the mess out of Under Night 2. And once again, I know, granted, this might like not be a one-to-one example of what we're talking about right here, but I'm just saying off the strength of that one character right there, even though there are several characters in Under Night that I play, but it's off the strength of that one character, I have been playing the mess out of Under Night 2.
Right.
Hadn't been playing anybody else. Like I said, it's not a one-to-one, but still, the past freaking 50 or so matches I played, it's been straight Uzuki, straight up. Off the strength of one character. So I don't know how y'all cannot fathom that somebody might go out there and buy Mortal Kombat because, Ghostface, the T-1000, Conan. It could happen. It could happen. But again, like I said, nuance is the key word. Like you mentioned, you were about to do that, but you restrained yourself. There will be those types right there, especially given the fact that, price is going to play a factor in that. Is there something else that this person wants where it's not, they're laying down the money and they know they don't get the bang for their buck?
Mm-hmm.
Something else to consider.
Right, yeah.
Oh, got some more comments?
Oh, no, I was just saying, yeah, absolutely.
Moving right along then.
If they didn't, we wouldn't keep doing this every single time, and now every game wouldn't be copying that same formula. If you're excited for Terry and Mai in Street Fighter 6, thank Freddy, because he's the one.
Excuse me?
I guess.
Play it again.
He wasn't
Excited for Terry and Mai in Street Fighter 6, thank Freddy, because he's.
Hold on.
I think I might know what he's playing at. This is one of those things where I'm like, I wouldn't say it's wrong, it's just that there might have been a better way to put this. I guess he's talking about the fact that I don't think he's the first, but I do know
No, he's definitely not.
He's not
Soul
the
Calibur did it way before.
There it is.
Mortal Kombat did it.
There it is. Because I was going to say, like, I was going to specify. Because at first I was thinking, is he talking about paid DLC guest characters? But even in that sense, like you said, you're still right. Because MK, the MK where he was in, that was 2011. Soul Calibur did do that with 4 because of that whole thing where in the beginning, if you got the Xbox version, you got Yoda. If you got the PlayStation version, you got Darth Vader. But then, of course, for the corresponding consoles that didn't get said character, they released them as DLC. So where you could have Darth Vader and Yoda on both. So I don't know, like even when you take into account DLC guest characters,
It's funny. They did that before Soul Calibur 4 too. They did it in Soul Calibur 2.
I don't think they were DLC. I don't think they were DLC though.
No, I don't think it was DLC.
That's the thing that I think he's specifying. But even still, your mention of Soul Calibur still kind of sticks though, because Soul Calibur 4, that was 2008 if I'm not mistaken. You can double check me on that. But I know for a fact 4 came before MK9/MK 2011.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know what he was playing at here. You got any ideas?
I mean, that could be he could just be saying thank Freddy, because that's the most prevalent example, or maybe Freddy had like boosted the highest amount of sales or something.
Okay. Because I could understand it, like, and I think the thing that additionally confuses me is that he threw the Street Fighter pass in there. Like, if he would have done this just in regards to, like, if you're excited for this combat pack, thank Freddy. It's like, okay, because, obviously, at least for me, what I would take from that is, like, if he was talking about this in relation to this combat pack or the previous combat pack, I could understand that because the point he would be making, or at least what I would think he would be making, is since Freddy did so well, they kept doing it with every game after that one.
Yeah, that's what I imagine.
It's just him throwing in the Street Fighter pass in the middle. And I guess perhaps maybe what he's saying is the fact that maybe, I guess, I don't know, like, this is kind of a stretch. But maybe he's saying, I guess, since Freddy did so well, I guess even companies like Capcom jumped on the bandwagon when it comes to third-party guest characters in particular, because technically Street Fighter has had guest characters. It's just all of them are in that shared universe. They're called first-party guest characters. Your Codys, your Guys, your Poisons, Maki, Abigail, like all of them, like, were Final Fight characters first, but Final Fight is in the same universe as Street Fighter. Same thing with Akira Kazama. She's from Rival Schools, but Rival Schools is also within that shared universe, which is interesting because guess who was in Rival Schools as a guest character? Sakura.
Oh yeah, yep.
But like a lot of people sitting there say that doesn't count as a guest character. I'm like, yes, they are. They were like, if you can tell me these characters were this game character first, like if I can sit here and tell you factually that Cody, Guy, and all of them were Final Fight characters first, they're guest characters. It's just called first party. In other words, Capcom owns all the stuff. It's two different franchises.
Right.
Third party is what we're seeing before us. Like people just think third party is a guest character and everything. It's like because I keep saying this every single time, and everybody tends to like draw blanks whenever I say this. It's like if you are going to say that you can't count a guest character as a guest character if they're canon or in a shared universe with the franchise, then you're basically telling me that Akuma is a Tekken character. Because Akuma is canon in the freaking Tekken 7. He's canon. But
Yeah,
like you gonna tell me he's a Tekken character? He's probably one now. But what was he first? He was a Street Fighter character first.
Right.
That's just how I see it. But yeah, that was kind of weird. Thank Freddy. What, somebody in a Freddy Krueger cosplay pulled up at Capcom and said, "Hey, I'm dressed like Freddy, but I really freaking love Fatal Fury. Could you put Maya Terry
cool in this game?"
And then you've seen people that are critical of the way Terry looks like face-wise. It's like, man, these fans are about to flip everything, every single table in their house, every single thing in the house that is flippable. If they, air quotes, goof up Mai's mess, they gonna flip everything.
Oh yeah.
Even though I don't think they are, like.
But with Maya, I don't think it'll matter as much because people won't be looking at her face.
Long as the chico, that's all y'all care about.
That's all they'll be looking for.
All y'all care about. Till it starts distracting you where you can't counter freaking Drive Rush. Freaking love but these fanboys, man. I just can't. Anything else you want to add, Mr. ROOFLEMONGER?
He's the one who started it all. Also, on a personal note, I have...
Okay, hold up.
Thank Freddy, because he's the one who started it all. Also, on a personal note...
We broke that down. If you're trying to say that he started it all from the case of DLC guest characters, we just broke that down. That's not the case. It even happened before. But even, I guess, maybe you can make the argument that, I guess, this got more attention than Soul Calibur 4. But I remember Soul Calibur 4 being pretty huge for the time being. And of course, what you were referring to earlier, that also tracks in the case if you want to talk about the whole guest character craze, because that goes back decades.
Yeah.
The very first known fighting game, and I have been not wanting to say this because but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to make a video on it sometime in the future. The very first fighting game guest character that we know on record, this mess dates all the way back to like the early days of fighting games. And I ain't talking like, like the precursors like freaking Yi Kung Fu or something like that. But I'm talking about like in the 1990s. 1993, there was a game out there that is more known for a lawsuit, if anything, with Capcom than it is for its own characters. It's a game called Fighter's History. Fighter's History literally has a guest character in there by the name of Karnov. Karnov was a character from a platformer made by the same company that made Fighter's History, Data East. And the thing is, he's the big bad in that too.
Oh, okay.
He's the big bad.
So he was the main villain in the game?
Yep. And guess what? The second game, one of its titles, because you know you have regional titles and stuff like that. The second Fighter's History game is literally named after him. It's called Karnov's Revenge. Like, now all of this is first party still, because like I said, Data East owns Karnov. Or at least Data East owned Karnov, because Data East isn't around anymore. But still, it's like, at that time, they owned Karnov and they owned Fighter's History, so all this was first party. Karnov is literally in all the Fighter's History games. All of them. So, like, yeah, like, like I talked about, like, I don't know if it was earlier in the podcast or maybe we were talking beforehand, but yeah, one of the first freaking characters to have back-to-back third-party guest character appearances in fighting games in a single franchise. But far as just making multiple appearances in a franchise, Karnov got there first way ahead.
Right.
But it's like, it is so crazy. So that's like where it started. This is like early 90s, early mid-90s. Like, because Karnov, like the first Fighter's History game came out in 93. And that is where the first known on record guest character was in fighting games. But hey, I was about to say, didn't know we were getting this history lesson, but hey, guest characters is the name of this particular, well, it's not the name of the episode, but you get it, it's the motif, basically. It's the theme.
Right.
But I guess maybe we're going too far back in history in this case. I don't know. Continue, Mr. ROOFLEMONGER.
I have shelves and shelves of Conan the Barbarian merchandise, comics, and books.
Fanboy alert!
He's my guy. I always see the argument, I hate guest characters. Oh, but this one's the one, actually, that's good. Well, I like guest characters, and guess what? Conan, absolutely my guy. If you're younger and you've never seen the original 80s Conan movie, you owe it to yourself. It's a classic. There's a reason why Arnold Schwarzenegger became a thing, and it's that exact movie. Oh, and on the guest character note, it is confirmed at the San Diego Comic-Con panel that Robert Patrick will indeed do the voice of the T-1000, so that is awesome.
Oh,
so
cool.
That's the roster that we know. As far as how the guests play, who knows, right?
So that was the original T-1000 guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to know that, because, what's his name? Anthony Starr. They were pestering him about, are you doing Homelander in Mortal Kombat? Are you doing Homelander in Mortal Kombat? You doing Homelander in Mortal Kombat? And like he would say no. Somebody said it to him somebody asked him that at a convention, and he was like, "Hey, you play Call of Duty? Play that," because I guess that's where he voiced Homelander.
Oh, okay.
But they got somebody else for him. There were rumors that it was Chris Cox, but it was confirmed to be somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But and so amongst, like, at least at this particular time, when it comes to the guest characters, only one of them has had their, I guess, pretty much the original actor or whatever involved in voicing or whatever. I think that's really going to be the case more so for just freaking him and Conan, honestly.
Yeah, at this point. But I mean, it makes sense.
They ain't gonna have Scream, like they ain't gonna have freaking Ghostface say anything.
No, I don't.
But they gonna have some random friendship where he's doing that. Whack out, mess. Is that
I mean, he might, honestly, because he
Really?
is a ninja, right?
Well, I don't think they're. Well, I forgot. It was MK11 that has friendships. MK1 brought back the animalities. That'd be kind of stupid if he has a movie where he's doing that. What's that? Like, what, really?
I wouldn't be surprised if
Don't do it. Hey, if y'all by chance watching NRS, don't. It's a don't.
No, you're gonna do it.
No. No. I didn't do it. That's all I was saying. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. That was not my. That was. By the way, the person that voiced him in Mortal Kombat 1, Homelander, that is, this Jake Green.
Oh, he did a shit job.
Okay, so okay, so because I had been wondering, I've only seen clips of the boys, only seen clips, and I wondered to people like, how'd they feel about the voice for Homelander? Because I mean, the dialogues that I've heard are actually pretty good, but like I don't like anybody got like a whole thing on the voice because like I said, I haven't, I don't think I've watched enough to really get an idea. I mean, obviously obviously off the jump, I mean, he didn't sound like Star, but there were those
Mhm.
moments where he did.
Yeah, no, it's like he took one aspect of Anthony Snell's Homelander character, and that's the only thing he does. Like he doesn't have any of the other nuances,
Mhm.
uh, and he just does like the same aspect over and over and over again, and
Mhm.
so it's not very good.
Okay. Because some people out there, and if there's anything that I really do still enjoy about MK1, I do like hearing the dialogues when new characters come out. But also, I like when the really cool thing about the guest characters is people have made really good compilations of all the different references that are made, whether it's dialogue, whether it's moves, whether it's animations of sorts.
Right.
And I did get like, when I started watching the ones about Homelander, I was able to get more of a side by side, especially like if there are lines involved. Because I don't
Hmm.
know if you've seen like he has a brutality that is Kenshi specific, and I'm pretty sure you might know where this is going.
Yeah.
But the little in wrestling we call it like a yakuza chop or whatever. But like the whole thing where he did what's the guy's name? Is it Blind Spot? When he
Um.
pretty much clocked him in the ears and had him
Oh yes,
squirming,
yes,
and
yes.
then there's the freaking blind guy line or whatever. Cause Jake Green definitely delivered that line a lot differently in the game.
Right.
Because as a matter of fact, even both times that he did, unless they used the same soundbite, because that's in their intro with each other, Homelander and Kenshi.
Hmm.
But like when they had showed where the original scene from the show came from, he like the voice was different because Jake Green, he was like another useless fucking blind guy. But then I remember like with the scene in The Boys, he kind of almost sings it like somebody in a mocking tone. Like, and
Yeah.
now you're just another useless fucking blind guy.
Yeah.
This must
Exactly.
be a joke, Ashley. Like the only things that I think that Jake might have gotten good are like his outburst and like those moments where he's like having these moments where he's talking like this. Just
Yeah, and
like
that's what I meant. Like he gets one aspect of the character, and that's he zeroes in on just that aspect, and then he doesn't do any of the other nuances of Anthony Snow's Homelander. Like the only thing he knows how to do is that I'm better. I am better, and that's it. And he just does that for every single possible emotion. So it's like, geez,
credit to him
did you
also.
pay
He also
attention?
yeah, credit to him also, but he I think he also got some of the moments down where I guess the character's kind of playful where it's like he's laughing at something. Like he did that pretty well. Even though of course it didn't like parallel all that well with some of the stuff that I've heard from the clips of the boys, but
Mhm.
like I said, I was on the outside looking in, really. Like I've been wanting to like actually like if I had a day all to myself, I'd marathon it to be honest, because from what
Yeah.
I've seen and heard, it does sound like a really fascinating and a really cool show. So, because it's nice to like have. I know there's probably some other shows like that or whatnot, but I do like it when I like the fact that there was a superhero type show that leaned more into elements of parody and satire as opposed to the usual stuff that most fighting almost said fighting game film superhero films and shows, dude. Fighting game films, ugh. I do an impression of you when I hear about like ugh. God, fighting game films, like man, like so many of those are just misses, like just all around misses.
Right.
Okay, more Mr. Roofa manga.
Ghostface, I'm assuming, would be a kind of more short-range, stabby 50-50 mix, because I don't exactly see him being like a premier zoner character, right? Conan, I'd expect more burly in like a Shao Kahn vein, just big muscle man with a sword. He sort of invented the concept, right? And T-1000 literally can be whatever your imagination dictates. There's never been a guess that's potentially more freeform than that, other than expect some liquid metal swords at some point. Now, Cyrax...
I think some people got ticked off about that actually, because there is a liquid metal like ninja. They were named Chrome, and they were thinking like, why couldn't they have brought in Chrome instead of the T-1000? Well, first of all, again, it's like old Roof said.
No one gives a fuck about Chrome. That's why. Stop. These people need to stop referencing characters no one knows.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to. Oh, God. But pretty much, yeah, like I said, T-1000 definitely gonna get more eyeballs, honestly. Again, like I said, those 3 guest characters, I'm not really sold on them. The whole pack, like, the only characters that really intrigue me off rip are the 2 cyborgs. But even that's not enough to bring me back to this game. Like, it's just not, man. And, like, I don't like, it brings me no pleasure dunking on some games or hearing about, like, a game dying. But, goddamn, man. Yeah, it's just, it's crazy. But yeah, the big old freaking guest character, whoop.
Yeah.
That had people like, that had people all in a craze. Like I said, the only thing that was maddening to me is just the fact that this is the second pass. Ed Boon reportedly confirmed that there is more coming.
Right.
2 passes, and already they have broken the record for how many guest characters they had in the game previously with MK11. If there's more coming, and the seasons are going to be this big, I could only imagine what comes next. I could only imagine.
Yeah. What kind of cracked it wide open for me was Conan the Barbarian, because it's such a like out of left field one for me. Because I could see the horror movie villains, because when you create a character, you want their source material to have kind of that MK feel. You know what I mean? Homelander in The Boy is very violent, very visceral show.
Oh, yeah.
Has that feel. Omni-Man in Invincible, violent, murders people, breaks their faces. It works. Scream, the Scream whatever guy, he's a slasher villain. Conan the Barbarian is what kind of cracks it wide open for me, because now it's like, oh, so it could just be regular guy from an action flick. So we could see Dominic Toretto the next guy. So that's it's something to look forward to.
Yeah. I don't know what, like, I could only just imagine the response if it's another freaking pass and it's 3 more guest characters, because that's been the magic number so far with this game. It's been 3. Like, I don't know. It's and the thing with me is, because some people will hear me say that, and it's like, well, aside from Jay, like, they're going to put guest characters in there. I mean, obviously they were going to lean into a lot of cinema, first of all, because I'm pretty sure that old WB has a hand in this. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. But on top of that, oh my God. I'm just laughing at the possibility, like, that mess is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Another freaking 3? 9?
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, like, because I want you to expand on this, even though, like, you kind of said it, like, off mic, we were talking before. But I'm like, a Mortal Kombat game having 9? I know I'm saying that word very weirdly, but 9 freaking guest characters? 9 goddamn... Oh, my God. Creepy just hit me up.
Yeah.
Creepy just hit me up. That's why I was saying, oh
Oh,
my
he
god,
did.
don't tell me he wants to slide up in here too. Hold on, let me see. But yeah, going to what you were saying, because off screen we were talking about just guest characters, like, kind of warming up. You think that they are a better fit in the platform fighting genre? Could you expand on that?
Yes. Okay. So the reason why I think they're a better fit in the platform fighting genre is because I think it's far more interesting to create a move set from nearly nothing and import them into a video game as opposed to having characters who already exist in fighting games, especially in fighting games. Like when you have a guest character that's from another fighting game, I don't think there's any value at all in adding them into a new fighting game, because it's like, okay, and like, why should I give a fuck? Because at that point, I'll just go play the game that they're in. Like Akuma being added to Tekken 7, I'm pretty sure it's 7. Stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, because it's Akuma. I can go play Street Fighter 5 if I want to play as Akuma in a fighting game. But then you have someone like Noctis from Final Fantasy. Oh, that's cool. Because that's a completely different genre of video game that you're implementing into a fighting game. That I want to see. That I want to play as. But fucking 50% of Street Fighter 6's Season 2 DLC are characters that A, I can play in a different fighting game, and B, I'm going to be playing as in an upcoming fighting game. So why are you wasting my slots?
Mm, never thought about it like that, because a lot of people do. I've heard that point before. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, like, on one hand, I get it. But on the other hand, it's like, it's one thing playing Akuma in Street Fighter, and it's another thing playing him in Tekken. Does some stuff carry over? Yeah. Like what they did with the meter and everything and all that.
Right.
And then even like doing the moves that you know about it, whether it be the Go Hado, Go Shoryu and everything. Doing
Yeah.
those moves in Tekken is going to feel a little bit different for some people compared to doing them in Street Fighter.
Oh,
You are
yeah.
playing him in a 3D game. You're playing him in a 3D game.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Terry and Mai. It's like, yeah, there are other fighting game characters, but then again, it's like, you could probably find something, but it's like the mechanics of Street Fighter 6, and even like whether you want to go by KOF 15, the last game that they had been in, or if you want to like scope out, the new Fatal Fury. But neither one of these games, to my knowledge, have anything like Drive Rush. Drive Impact, kinda, with the whole Shatter Strike, sort of.
Right.
That's there. And then on top of that, it's gonna be a 6-button Terry. Last game you play him, man, it's 4. Now I don't know what he was like in freaking Smash. That's even the same thing. It's like you put him in platform fighters. Oh, you put some fighting game characters in platformers. Some of that stuff carries over, but again, it's gonna feel very different for most people. I will never forget, and I wish Larry could have been here, because back when he was like back when he was like deployed on military and everything, they loved Smash over there where he was at. And when the likes of the Ryus and the Kens and the freaking Terrys that came out for that game,
Right.
and they knew like all of them had this little gimmick where if you do like, cause correct me if I'm wrong, cause I know you more the Smash guy between both of us. If you did the like proper, like with a Hadouken, if you do that input proper as opposed to like the shortcut, then it gets boosted damage or boosted properties.
Yeah. That was basically the concept. If you did the input, the moves were empowered, as it were.
Would you believe it when it's like he told me that there are people there that were like doing a quarter circle to them? It's like, what?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not surprised at all, because I mean, it's definitely, if Smash is all you've played, asking someone to do something like that is asking a French person for directions in Cantonese. It's like, what are we talking about right now?
Wow, that's a good way to put it. But That's my thing, because somebody pitched a fit at me because back to my point earlier, my whole thing when it came to the first or the second season of Street Fighter was like, I've never ever referred to Mai and Terry as wasted slots. Never. I'm hyped to try them in that game.
Right.
I mean, the funny thing about it is, between Street Fighter 6 and King of Fighters 15, like, I know people say, you want to play these characters so bad, go play a KOF game or a Fatal Fury game. Well, like, I mean, I could go back and play those older games. I could. But also, I'm liking this new stuff. And, like, between Street Fighter 6 and KOF 15, I like Street Fighter 6 a little bit more. Right. So why not have him be in a game that I like a little bit more than the other?
And you know what?
The only thing for me that messes it up, the only thing for me that kind of messes it up, though, like, this could kind of crush it for me, and that is if, by some cosmic chance, the nature of Terry and Mai just being what type of characters they are, if by some chance they just drown in, like, the meta or something. And let me give you an example of that. My number one all-time favorite fighting game character, even to this day, even though I am going to update that video later in the year, but also, I'm not going into that. I'm just going to the main point. I'm going to the main point. I was going to, well, you know what, screw it. It was amusing to me that you watch that video that I made of, like, my 50 favorite fighting game characters, and I get complaints about why are most of them women. Fast forward to me doing my prediction video for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, and I get complaints that I didn't pick enough women. When it's funny because this is something else that always bothers me. I hate when people give heat to creators that they should be given to the devs. It wasn't me that didn't include many women in Fatal Fury. It was SNK that did. Right. If you look over the Fatal Fury series, guess how many women have been playable just within that particular, like, not no KOF, not no freaking, none of that. I'm talking about Fatal Fury, no patchy slots, none of that mess. The primary Fatal Fury games. Guess how many freaking women have been playable throughout that series? 7.
Oh.
7 out of, like, 40-some characters. Those characters are obviously Mai, who was the first lady of Fatal Fury. You got Li Zhangfei. You have Segumi Sendo, who, in my video about what characters I wanted, she was very high because me being a wrestling fan, I love my wrestling characters. But at the same time, can we please move away from this trope of just every single wrestling character having to be a big old freaking beefy Vince McMahon fever dream of a guy? Can we please? That's why even though I didn't main him, I'm appreciative of characters like El Fuerte, El Blaze, characters like those that lean into the other styles of wrestling. That's what Segumi Sendo is, because Segumi Sendo, it's mostly what they call shoot wrestling, like with really like fierce kicks, but she got some power moves too. But I still don't think, like, unless she's one of these characters for Fatal Fury where she's like, or not she, but like SNK was like, there are going to be characters in this game that are going to make you go, oh. Unless that's her, I don't see it happening.
Right.
I really don't. I don't see it. I named 3 so far. Like I said, I said Li Zhangfei, who I think does have a chance of making it in at Fatal Fury, so I can acquiesce to that, and Segumi Sendo. Then you got B. Jenny, who I have on my list, and I mean, she was already confirmed a while before. Yeah, B. Jenny. There is the newly revealed Preecha. And the thing is, the Preecha that currently we have, again, the Preecha that we currently have, she's growing on me. Because at first I wasn't really sold on her, but she's growing on me now. Because I've seen more footage of her in action. And I do like, the dorky, kind of nerdy aspects of her. That's cool. But then they had to reveal these concept sketches of what they had for her, like, beforehand at that freaking same SNK panel. And, like, the old designs look so, like, again, current Preecha's alright, but the old designs look so much better. I'm going to show you those, like, after this. I'm going to show you. This is crazy. So that's 5 so far. The last 2 are Blue Mary and Hotaru Futaba. 7. So who is it that's not including women? Is it me or is it SNK? I'm not counting Lily because Lily, that was cool that they put her in freaking King of Fighters, but like that's the reason why I don't count it. It was a spin-off King of Fighters game she was in. I don't count Alice either because even though Alice came from the patchy slots in Fatal Fury, her first playable debut in a fighting game was in KOF. So, see, now I understand why some people talk about people that make complaints like this aren't real people because it's like, do you even have your freaking information together? Do you even have it?
No, they do not. They just say things.
You have it. Oh my God, man. But it's like, yeah, somebody had like, but yeah, getting all the way back to the actual thing, the subject, freaking trailing off there. My number one character, my favorite character of all time is Darlie Dagger, who made her debut in Samurai Showdown. And there is a clip of me on my very channel of me freaking probably screaming and popping the loudest I have ever popped for a character when I started doing this, when they showed her in King of Fighters 15. Yeah! Main, immediate, let's go. This was an example of you kind of think you want something until you get it. Because Darlie, overall, when it comes to like her normals and everything, she's a much slower character than most of the cast. That is not the type of character that you want in freaking King of Fighters. She's been buffed a handful of times, but guess what? Still a low-tier character. Again, this is my favorite freaking character so far, like in fighting games. Like right now, still my number one. And even still, I'm thinking they should have probably picked somebody other than her. Because in KOF 15, like, and the thing is, I still try to play her even though she's low tier. That's just how much I like the character. But if they would have picked somebody else, like whether it was Shiki, whether it was if they wanted to put one of the newer Samurai Showdown characters in there, they probably should have just picked Wu Ruzhong. Or maybe even freaking Kurama Yashimaru, the new protagonist. Like, Darlie just... And KOF's run far as, like, updates, like, probably after this little batch of characters comes out, that's probably going to be it, man, because it's going to be Fatal Fury City of the Wolves from here on. The road to the city is just right there.
Right.
But I know in that case, Darlie is not a guest character, but rolling all the way back to our other point, see, I might take y'all on some tangents, but I'll bring you right back to where we were. She's not necessarily a guest character because KOF is just SNK cross-tag battle, basically, without the tag. It's a whole bunch of SNK characters. That's why I never understood what people say, like with my Iceberg video, why didn't you have Nakoruru in Samurai Showdown? How is she a freaking guest character in a freaking game where it's a bunch of freaking SNK characters crossing over?
Right.
But it's like, it's not a one-to-one, but it's still the same concept. It's like, I would much rather, like, and you know what's so funny? It's actually a point towards what you were saying. I would much rather play Darlie in Samurai Showdown than KOF 15. That's just the thing, you know, because KOF doesn't have all those Sam Show mechanics, which is probably a reason why that character didn't work all that well. So, I don't know. Like, at first, I used to get on my nerves when people would say that, like, you know, you want to play, like, freaking, you happy about Terry and freaking Fatal Fury? Well, go play a Fatal Fury. Like, I used to hate that, but it's like, there's a little bit of a gray area there for me. Little bit. It depends on, like, how similar the games are, I gotta say. Like, if you like, if the games that this person goes over to cross over and make a guest appearance into is very much tit for tat, almost like the other game, then yeah, maybe.
Right.
Super meter, dip. Armor thing, dip. Super jumps and air combos, dip. Because you look at, like, speaking of that, Akira, when they brought her into freaking Street Fighter 6 didn't have any air combos, but she could do them.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like, that's
She
just
had
the
her own
thing.
unique play style.
But you know what? A lot of people additionally do not like when they bring those unique elements to Because my friends that have played much more Tekken 7 and more Tekken in general than I have in the past while or so, they told me with this heat mechanic and freaking Tekken 8, if Geese and freaking Akuma had that mess, they would be unbearable. Because you got that mess on top of the fact that they both brought their individual meters and everything. Their combo structures are pretty much very different from everybody else's. A lot of people do not like it when like they just bring the everything with them. They don't. Cause then on top of that, you got like Geese and freaking Akuma. They got multiple supers, aside from just like the super that the little Rage Drive or whatever it's called that everybody had in Tekken. They had that plus they had other supers. Cause I know Geese had his Rage Drive or whatever it's like the freaking supers in Tekken 7, whatever they're called. He had that, and then he had the Raging Storm and the Daimo Rapuken as supers. So already they're kind of like, I ain't gonna say breaking the game, but they're already kind of like cheating in a way. Just like everybody else has just that one super move, but here you got Geese with freaking multiple. And a lot of people don't like that. But guess character magic be what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
How does it translate when they do that when it comes to platform fighters? Like, is it annoying? Is it annoying? Is it silly? Is it nothing? Like, what is it?
I don't think so. Personally, I think it's typically pretty successful when they do it with platform fighters. There aren't as many pain points because I think it feels like characters are typically on the same level. I say that when even though Steve has been from Smash Ultimate has been on the chopping block for getting banned from tournaments for so long now. So I say that, but no, I mean in the professional scene, like it reaches a point. But I wonder no, because I can't even say, oh, it's just one character that happened to. Because I guess with Akuma, or was it Akuma or Geese, that was that much of a problem that people were like, this is too much. I think it might have been Akuma.
Geese, I know, had a moment like where he was like really just like he just.
Yeah, I like to say it doesn't happen, but then they also get guest character privilege. You know what I mean?
That's the word. Guest character privilege.
Yeah. So they get boosted out of control, and they get all these special things added because they're guest characters. So it feels like sometimes it works. I think the reason why platform fighters don't suffer as much from it is perhaps they get more guest characters
Oh
at
yeah.
the time.
Oh yeah. Plenty of crossovers in old Brawlhalla. Plenty.
Yeah. So I think
Plenty.
that's why it doesn't feel as bad.
And I mean Brawlhalla Brawlhalla Brawlhalla, because I actually played it, and I mean it's okay. It's okay. It really couldn't hold me for much, like a long time, but it's all right. But I remember like with that game, it's like almost everybody's abilities are a little bit more closer together, I want to say. Like there wasn't anything, I guess, too out of the box or whatnot. Like everybody's specials, I guess, were like linked to some of the items or the weapons, if I'm not mistaken.
What, in Brawlhalla?
Yes.
I'm not super familiar, so I couldn't say for sure.
And see, like we're talking about like platform fighters and everything. It's like even the indie fighters are really just getting in on it too. Like indie fighters like themselves some freaking guest characters too.
Oh yeah.
They'll try to push their own and everything, but like at the same time, there's a decent bit like freaking Pocket Bravery, which I do think Pocket Bravery. There's that Olympics hype in the back again, but anyway, but I think Pocket Bravery has something special because I think like they did everything. They did a solid job with a lot of their stuff. Because I went through the tutorial mode to get like an understanding of how the game plays, and I think their tutorial mode is actually pretty good. They got mission mode, of course, where you can, do like combo trials and stuff like that. But then on top of that, I think the story presentation was good too. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like what visual novels do a little bit, but still it's something different. And also I think I might be a little biased with this, but I like the fact that they kept story and arcade separate.
Right.
I know some people might think that's redundant because there have been fighting games that have been trying to mash up the two, but I don't think those two should be mashed up. The story mode should tell the game's story, and the story isn't always going to involve every single playable character on the roster.
Right, of course.
So they should. I think they should keep those separate. That's just how I feel about it. But also, it's not even just that, but like the presentation's really good, and Pocket Bravery's music does kick ass too. So the problem with like that is a kick ass soundtrack. That music is actually really good.
Right.
But unfortunately, the obvious reason is obvious as to why its exposure is kind of limited, and that's because only, like, as of right now, it's still only on PC. There are other ports coming. There are ports coming, not poor ports, but just ports. Kind of it sounded like I just said that. But there are other ports coming for, like, major consoles, but unfortunately, we don't know when that time is coming.
Right.
And I can get why some companies do that, but at the same time, don't you think that kind of hurts the potential of it in some cases?
What, they're creating multiple ports of a video game?
Or not so much, but like, and specifically, I'm saying specifically. Let's say like, with Project Pocket Bravery. I'm gonna say Project Bravery. What the hell is Project Bravery? But like I said, Pocket Bravery released on Steam on PC. We get into PlayStation ports and all like some other ports and everything, but we're still waiting for that. Like, don't you think that might stifle its potential? Because I'm pretty sure you might agree, but whether it's because people got to tighten their belts because of money, or just people less like a smaller attention span, not want to be patient, but not everybody's gonna be just sitting there waiting for it when you tell them it's coming. Like, it's one thing when you say, like, for instance, boom, Killer Instinct, Xbox only, and then eventually, because I have it on Steam as well, it came out on Steam later down the line. Boom, that's it. You know what I'm saying? But here it's like, oh, we got it for it's out for like this console right now, but like, hey, the rest of them, we got y'all. It's just follow us on Twitter and we'll keep you posted.
Mhm.
Like, I like the enthusiasm. I like the fact that, it's not going to be exclusive, but you think that long wait might be a little bit more of a detriment than anything?
No, as long as the audience for it is passionate enough, it doesn't really matter. I mean, look how long people have been waiting for Bloodborne remake to come out on the newest Sony console, or Half-Life 3 to be released, or even GTA 6. I mean, we've been stuck with GTA 5 since PS3. We've gone through how many different console generations up to PS5, and GTA 6 is still not out, but the anticipation for it is high enough. So I think as long as your core fan base and the people who really want the game are dedicated enough, they will wait as long as it takes to wait, as long as you have created that kind of passion for it. So yeah, no, I don't think so at all.
I can see that, because that is definitely the case with like one of the games that I have been covering, Blazing Strike, because Blazing Strike has gone through a couple of delays, like a whole bunch of them, honestly, even though this game had been first shown to us like several years ago, honestly. Like, I want to say maybe 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
But you go like in the Discord, you have people, myself included, where it's like the wait is grueling, but hey, I'm still in for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just unfortunate that I don't think many fans are like that. Like, it's always like the faithful. There's the reason why you have that phrase, the faithful few. It's always just the few. You know what I'm saying? So, as promised, I was gonna show Vault, of course. The thing that really pissed me off about this particular panel at Evo from SNK. So back there in the back, you can see that is Preecha right there. That's Preecha.
Yep.
I think I might have told you about this character before, because some people had been I guess, spreading the rumor or had the theories that she might be trans because Preecha is more of a male name in that language.
Hmm.
But I don't think that's been confirmed or anything.
Right.
But like that's the Preacher that we got. Like I said in the beginning, again, this is a design where I'm like, eh. But with people from, of course, the usual folks that y'all know with SNK content, whether it's Rome himself and even some surprise people like Smug, like all these people that I, been seeing, getting footage and getting a chance to try the game, the more I see a Preacher, the more Preacher's growing on me. So there's that. And then so throughout this panel, they move on and there it is. This is where they started with Preacher, apparently.
Okay. It's a big deviation.
Big deviation right there. Big deviation. And then they went to here. And they got to here somehow.
Jeez, they really went through a lot of different design elements for this character.
And then then they got in essence, yeah, but like, of course, you saw earlier she had multicolored hair and all that.
Right.
They even show like some of this right here, and they kind of like, yep, that was basically the Preacher we got in the end.
Okay.
Freaking pissed me off because this one right here on the far right, I love that one. I love that. I love that. I can see why they ditched the lab coat because I guess they didn't want to scare away any Dragon Ball Fighters characters because lab coats have a very, very scary moment. I shouldn't have said that. I already used that joke.
No, I get it.
And then, like with this one, I love this one over here.
That one's really good.
And even this one over here is actually pretty dope. But like, it was those. Like, I'm like, I quit, man. What if I told you like another funny comment I got on like my 50 favorite characters video was somebody saying like, you only like black women.
Oh, so someone said that?
Yes.
I mean, people will find any reason to be upset, honestly.
Oh god.
It's such a silly comment.
Like, why was it? Because Darlie was number one.
Who knows? That's a ridiculous comment to make, but I guess they had to find a reason.
I mean, sheesh, I don't think, like, I told you about all the Fatal Fury playable women characters in there. There are no black women in freaking Fatal Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Might want to get on that SNK. I'm just saying.
Probably not.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
One black woman, she's going to be S tier, and the whole argument.
Well, I mean, like, that's what they thought about. Well, I don't know if they thought Dolores in KOF was S tier. I don't think they thought she was. But I know, like, she was strong in the beginning. I know that much.
Right.
So, getting back to these character passes, I actually had forgotten because this was a really interesting question from this one Twitter user named Yellow Motion. They asked, and this was, I think, after, of course, all the reveals at EVO because they got the Season 1 pass of Tekken 8 with Heihachi there.
Mm-hmm.
Their question was, what is your take on Season Pass character reveals? Do you prefer knowing all the characters coming in a season up front? Do you enjoy the excitement, or do you enjoy the excitement of surprises as each character is revealed throughout the season? Games like Guilty Gear Strive, Street Fighter 6, and Mortal Kombat 1 have shown you exactly what to expect. In contrast to Tekken 8, it has revealed characters gradually, adding the element of surprise and speculation. While it's good to know what's coming up front and and go all in on a season, knowing all the characters and events can also spoil the initial reveal and excitement. Imagine if we knew Heihachi was in Season 1 from the start. I wouldn't have given a damn. Yeah, but even though his inclusion was decided more recently, and this person ends it by saying, I'm enjoying the suspense and guessing game in Tekken 8 so far. What's your opinion? Do you prefer full reveals or surprises? Should Tekken 8 stick to its separate reveals or adapt to the other games in the FGC? I never thought about that until this person brought it up because that is true. When it comes to the current games and their passes, it's really just been Tekken 8 that's been keeping the suspense with surprises. Everyone else just like, okay, here's what we got. Okay, bye.
Right.
What do you prefer in
Yeah.
this case?
I think Tekken does it the worst.
Mm,
Because I think it's better to just let everyone know so they know whether to be invested or not.
mm-hmm.
Because then you can know, do I want to buy the season pass ahead of time, and then I'll have the characters I want when they come out, or am I going to skip this whole season pass? Because I bought the first season pass because I wanted all the characters for Street Fighter Six. But the second one, as soon as they revealed it, I'm like, I don't care about any of those characters, so I didn't buy it. Uh, so it worked better for me. Now imagine you buy the season pass, and every couple of months you get slapped in the fucking face by Eddie Gordo, Julia, or whoever the fuck that lady was, and Heihachi. It's like
Lydia.
Lydia, yeah. See, she's so useless. I didn't even know her name.
Oh.
So it's like it'll be an insult for me to wait and rubbing my hands together, and then the fucking glass character is going to be Kangaroo from the old Tekken games. So I think it's better to just show what you got, show all your cards, so people know whether to be invested or not.
Harada, I think he was joking when he was talking about the kangaroo. Don't do that. Don't do
Why?
it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my god. Because so many people, yet again, and I'm not just saying this because it has been pretty much the theme of this whole thing. A lot of people think, I guess, and maybe this has something to do with it, they think that that last character in this Tekken Pass is a guest character.
Maybe.
I guess in their opinion, they feel like if you're gonna keep building up characters like this, you gotta build to something worthwhile. So why not
No.
build to another guest character? Which I don't know. I don't know.
Jim Patrick.
Man, back to back freaking like they just y'all thought the whole freaking Mishima mess was done. Not only is
Yeah, no.
Heihachi here, we got Jinpachi back.
Jim Patrick's back. The whole family's here.
The whole family is here. You know what? Looking at like these passes, one thing that I've always said when it comes to these types of character passes, and I'm not sure maybe you agree or not, I've always been of the opinion where if you put a new character, and I mean a fresh new character, in your season pass, which in most cases, unless like, Under Night Wear, because with Under Night 2, if you pre-ordered the game, you got the first pass free, which is
Mhm.
another reason they're kind of winning for me currently right now. It's not even just the character, but like the character that I'm having the most fun with right now, I just had to pre-order.
Right.
But still, and the funny thing is, to some degree, it also kind of applies to that particular pass. But I've always found it to be bold whenever they put a brand, fresh new character in their season pass. I'm like, I always find that bold. Because this is going to be somebody that pretty much the fan base will have little to no contact with, no familiarity with.
Hmm.
So it's like you risking all of that and hoping that they get wowed by how they look or the trailer. I think that's bold. Because that was the deal with Aki in Street Fighter 6. Like, she was the sole new character, like original new character in that pass.
Right.
And granted, of course, she ended up being like pretty low tier in the beginning, but I think she's doing a little bit better right now. But I've always just found that bold when they just put like a fresh new character in the past, where it's like, people gotta buy that mess. You really
Right.
gonna like, you really gonna take a chance on hoping that this new character is a cash cow? Because Guilty Gear
Yeah.
Strive is kind of doing that right now with the recent pass they have with Season Pass 4. Because not only is there a guest character in there in Lucy from Cyberpunk, but we have Unica, who is a fresh new character, but I guess on a technicality, because Unica is going to be a character from that upcoming Guilty Gear Strive anime. But as far as like being playable in the game, she is new. Fresh new.
Mm.
I've always found that bold and somewhat risky. What do you think?
I think I can see where the risk would come from because it's an unknown character being added into the game. But then I think that's why you kind of have to go heavy with the known ones in the base roster.
Mm,
so that people always have something familiar to go to. And I think that's why Street Fighter 6 put all of those loved characters from Street Fighter 2 into the game
Oh yeah.
uh, in their base roster. Except for Bison and all that, because they knew, okay, the other half of the roster is going to be all new characters, and we're going to have a new character in the DLC as well in the fighter pass. So we have to make sure the people who have characters they like have something to go back to if it doesn't work out for them. So if they get Aki and they're like, "Damn, that was a waste," like, well, I can go back to Ken, I can go back to Ryu, I can go back to because they're already in the game. So I think you have to front load your game with characters that people already like and know, and then you can kind of experiment with the fighters pass later on.
That sounds very sound. Yeah, it just always kind of like. And I mean, like, I've seen some cool new characters, like, for instance, the character Najd in KOF, who is the first Saudi Arabian character in the series in KOF. Even though with that right there, I feel like there was a little bit less of a risk because Najd was made in. She was created in a contest that SNK themselves held. So they were already hyping this up. And the design for Najd won the contest. So I think with that, it might have lowered the risk a little bit because, I mean, depending on people's taste, which can vary, you know, I'm just saying, like, I haven't really seriously drawn or done art in, like, years. As a matter of fact, I pretty much stopped, like, in my first year of college. But, that right there would be, like, kind of, like, for me, that'd be cool. It's like, oh, snap, like, I was able to create a character in a video game, especially a genre that I love.
Right.
Like, that's dope. But still, same time, it's like, even though it had that little bit of hype behind it, I still was like, man, this is risky. And the funny thing is, she was DLC in back-to-back games. It was 14 and 15. And I'm pretty sure I've talked about that. I can't stand it when it's like a character that you know for a fact is popular and they're back-to-back DLC. I can't stand, because now it seems, because every time I say it, it's like, you know why they're doing it, because of money. I'm like, I get that, but like when you're doing that, it's almost an insult. It's almost like, at least for me, you're insulting our intelligence. Like, you're dangling the mess in my face, and it's like, really?
Right.
Like, I like me some freaking garlic parmesan wings or whatever. Why you dangling a mess in my face? Why you dangling a
Yeah.
mess in my face like I didn't want it before? Like, I want this. Why you playing me like this?
Right.
Like, I can't stand that.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But also, one more thing, as I look at these passes, and I think I might have made this point, but I won't go deep into it. It's just, once again, because a lot of people thought, like, when I made my video talking about my issues with the season 2 of Street Fighter 6, people were like, everybody's missing the point. 4 characters in a year, like, this is unacceptable. First of all, with Street Fighter 6, they're building these characters from the ground up. No reused models, no reused assets or anything like that.
Right.
But also, the point that I want to make, like, me personally, just because a pass has, like, a bunch more characters doesn't equate it, or at least to me, doesn't equate to it being just a good pass off rip.
Right. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1 just released another freaking combat pack with 6 characters in there, and ain't none of them really getting me hyped to go back to that game.
Yeah.
Freaking, there's 3 in the current Under Night Pass, and the first one has already been the most fun that I've had in quite a while. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, if they could hit it out the park with freaking... If they hit it at the park, like I said, there's 3, like, just looking at it, everybody but Bison in that freaking Street Fighter Pass, I'm looking forward to. If they can knock them out the park, good. But,
The quality over quantity thing.
exactly. Like, But apparently that's a dead concept, apparently, because it's just like, freaking, like, no. And I'm not even saying, like, it's just trash in general. It's just, like, for me, it ain't, like, for me, it's like, and I understand, like, you know, you have more characters in there. At least the way I frame it, or the way I see it, is like, you put more characters in a pass, the more of a chance somebody's going to find something that they might like. But that still doesn't equate, like, you got a pass with 6 characters out there, and 2 of them only slightly have me hype. It's like, there's nowhere near as good as this one pass that I got for free by pre-ordering, and the first character is a bunch of fun.
Right.
And I'm already looking forward to the second character in the Under Night 2 pass, and lo and behold, it's my birthday month.
There you go.
And he was the character I was looking forward to the most, and like, I've read about him because I've been meaning to watch and look and see some people online or on YouTube or wherever that really dig into the Under Night lore, because I think Under Night has a pretty underrated story. But just saying, just because like, oh, I know 4 characters, like, I'll probably still, like, if Terry delivers, which I'm pretty sure he will, if Elena and Mai deliver, which I'm pretty sure they will, I'll still prefer that pass over the current freaking season 1 pass for Tekken 8. With the Guilty Gear one, Dizzy's the only one, or excuse me, Queen Dizzy. You gotta put that royal title there because she's Queen Dizzy now. Dizzy I'm interested in. Venom is cool as a character. Like, the whole gimmick with freaking, you know, his whole gimmick being around freaking billiards, like freaking pool, and shooting the balls and everything like that, like pool. Again, another character with a cool design and concept, but again, like I said about Eddie, you cool, I don't hate you, I don't think you're garbage, I just like, I ain't really, it could, I mean, hey, Strive has changed my mind, like, I know I've been, for a while, I said I haven't had the drive for Strive, but when I played it the other day, I actually enjoyed it, and it wasn't just because, like, the little 3v3 stuff, the game did everything I wanted to do, there's a little bit more spice to it now, so who knows. I mean, maybe I might like Unica, and again, I have not watched whatever it is, it's Cyberpunk something.
Yeah, Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
I don't think you freaking watched the freaking first podcast I did, because I had referenced and even played the clip there, because I was like, the only thing I know about Cyberpunk is that it freaking drove my freaking friend Vault so wild that it woke me up out of my freaking sleep.
Yeah,
Dude,
and that's the one you need.
I swear, man, like again, like, you know, they all know, like, this was when I was at the hospital, like, about maybe like a half a month out, because of course this was like early December. And it, like I said, I was watching the watch along on my TV. And it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like you were boring me, like, obviously you weren't, but it's just like, there wasn't really much for me, like, in the show that really interested me. And like, on top of that, the medicine was kicking in and I was kind of getting drowsy. And then when freaking Anthony Mackie announced that Cyberpunk won that freaking... I've never told you this. I was thinking, I'm like, who said that? And I'm like over here breathing heavily, like I had a nightmare. I'm like, who said that? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't like nobody in my house sounds like that. I've heard them get like crazy about some stuff before, but like not like.
No, I was ready to end stream.
I remember it was because what was that you switched to? It was Contexto, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I need to try that. I need to try
Contexto. A different game.
Because like I said, my big sis that loves freaking Alan Wake is like, I was telling her, it's like, oh, my friend, he called the performance of that song. Like, again, I thought the song sounded cool. The freaking, I don't know, I found like the little dance kind of weirdly endearing.
Right, yeah.
But I remember, like, I told, like, he called it like a music video. He called it a live music video. He was like, oh, like, why did you say that? I'm like, hey, be happy he didn't switch off of it or anything.
It was just a little random music video. I'm like, oh, okay.
I was like, he was kind of weirded out by it, but he was also like intrigued. So, like I said, the worst that you could possibly get is him literally just going to Contexto.
Yeah, turn it off. Like, it's time to play a game.
I'm glad that YouTube has that clipping feature, because I freaking clip that mess fast. I'm like, that right there will always freaking make me laugh. Even like on my worst day, it'll make me laugh.
Oh man.
But yeah, like, I don't know anything about this Lucy coming to freaking Strive or whatever. It's like I always say, maybe the gameplay trailer will sell me. Have you seen like whatever? Have you seen the series that she's in?
No, I don't engage in anything cyberpunk anymore.
Oh, so just freaking completely anti-cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a supreme hater.
So if you get anywhere near, you just like break out in hives,
Oh yeah, no, it makes me it
or you want to vomit.
drives me crazy. Anytime I see people
It
praise it, I
drives
saw the
him
fire.
crazy.
Yeah, basically.
I forgot where I heard that song, but then just out of nowhere, the message got into my head. But so yeah, you just freaking so you like just so you if you're just like in a store somewhere and you're just walking down like the aisle or something like that, right, random aisle somewhere, and you start just randomly puking out of nowhere, that means to you that freaking something cyberpunk has got to be close by.
Oh yeah, I saw it on the shelf.
You went to the aisle where the candles and stuff are, and somebody just dropped a copy of it right there.
I fall to my knees and vomit.
Oh my god, man. I just remember hearing it was kind of polarizing when I first heard about Cyberpunk, but most of what I heard wasn't good. So when I'm on the outside looking in and like, again, there's an element where it's like, yo, I only got so much money. It's like, I don't want to waste anything on some mess like this. I don't want to drop 60 on this Cyberpunk and it's going to piss me off or anything. I don't want to do
Mhm.
that. Like, I understand, like, you want to go and try to get an idea for the game, like, yourself and everything, but, like, some folks like that gotta understand when you put that mess out there, you got people like me that are not into this genre. We get a little spooked.
Right,
Just saying.
yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, oh, I don't want to take no chances with this mess.
Hey, you might love it.
I
Some
don't.
people do.
I'm sorry, like I can't play it. Like at this point, if I even, anytime I see like the Cyberpunk logo, I just hear that freaking loud, fuck, like everywhere. I just hear that loud, fuck. Like somebody freaking mod that mess and hand me a copy, and then like when the freaking the start screen comes up, this is that soundbite instant.
That's what plays.
And then when you hit start, contexto pops up.
It's just a different game. It's just context now. Oh man.
Oh my god! But like, I just think that's freaking just ballsy. Like, I just think that's ballsy. Just putting like a brand new freaking character like in the season pass of a fighting game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier, but just in case you forgot, I said that this upcoming winter season is gonna be icy, and I know y'all are thinking after all of this stuff has transpired, and especially with this episode of this podcast, Lotus, that freaking iceberg needs updating. Well, we're gonna have it. And give y'all some more details. The homie that creepy reading even wants to get in on helping me with like some narration with that. You be down
Alright.
for that? You be down for that, Vault?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you might even hear Vault up in there. So there is that as well. Another announcement I got. So I know I might have mentioned it a handful of times here, and of course I've gotten really friendly, as y'all know, with some of the people that have worked on Blazing Strike, but again, unless they announce something else big, I do want to move on to some other indie fighting games because a lot of people out there are making a lot of interesting stuff. And I'm here to announce that the next game we're going to be covering in the indie fighting game spotlight, we're going to be talking about FROSTFIRE Battle Frenzy, which if you haven't, have you seen it? Have you seen this, Vault?
No, I don't typically keep track of a lot of indie games, so
Okay,
that's not me,
I
bro.
forgot you also do kind of spoof. I'm trying to think about it. Like, what is it that I always say you spoof when it comes to this? You spoof anime games. Well, you don't spoof them, you roast them. It was something else.
Yeah, anime games, fucking roguelikes. A lot of indie games because I feel like they get a lot of praise for the dumbest shit. Visual novels.
Oh, like I love visual novels though. No hate though, you still cool. But yeah, like even though he's probably gonna think I have a problem because it's like I've been trying to also whittle down the amount of freaking visual novels that I have in my library. And so
Mm.
far it ain't going that well. There are 82 visual novels in my Steam library and I've probably only finished maybe 6.
Jeez. That's
The thing is, man, there are so many freebies on freaking Steam. It's kind of freaky, which is so funny because the one thing I can't stand about freaking Steam freebies when it comes to visual novels, it's always some freak. Not always, but there's a lot of what I call freak nasty mess on there.
yeah, I'm sure.
And for the record, when I talk about that, I'm not just saying like, there might be a sex scene or something, or the overtones of it might have like sexual stuff or what that like that for me, that's not freak nasty stuff. When your mess is just literally just, for example, Internet Rain, who y'all know, who does some of the music for the channel, she actually sat me down one day with some other friends in her Discord and actually made us watch The Room. And yes, The Room with Tommy Wiseau. Because I had just said before that I had never seen it. I watched, what's the guy's name? Doug Walker. I watched him review it. I've just seen like clips and reviewing and stuff like that. That's all I've seen.
Right.
That was the first time I actually sat down and watched that mess. And the fact that there was a sex scene like no freaking, like in about freaking 5 minutes, I'm like, what the. And
That's
then
a random.
it kept happening. It's like the next 5 minutes, here's another one.
Jeez.
And next 2 minutes is another one. It's like I hear like some of the stuff that people talk about where it's like Tommy Wiseau's acting and everything, but it's like the fact that they just freaking cramp those freaking sex scenes together, like what the world? Oh my god! But like that's what I mean right there. Like if you just hit me with back to back to back, like freaking here's a sex game, here's a sex game, here's a sex game.
Yeah.
Okay, you own some freak nasty mess.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And then some of that stuff you just see it. It's like, yeah, this is what it is, and and some of that mess looks copy and paste of each other too.
Right.
I really appreciate you. I'm over here talking about visual novels on the Fighting Game channel. I want to start a whole visual novel channel, but I'm on the fence about that. Maybe I'll do it, maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. But I just know like you freaking, getting back to the point. Like I said, I'll go far out with you, but I'll bring you back. I just know Vault goes in on anime games. So if you like anything anime like that, just don't. He's probably gonna hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was like. I don't know what, but I also clipped something else from that freaking watch along. It was some game. I guess it looked like Genshin Impact or whatever. But you had joked that it was a PDF game because of how they had that freaking little freaking girl landing that guy. Like,
Oh yeah. It was like, why are these children?
oh my god. I wonder should I play the clip on the freaking. But no, like since you're here, you hadn't heard about it, like, and since of course he might roast a freaking indie game or whatever. Let's close it out. Like, let's have the final segment. Like, I'm gonna bring up a trailer of Frostfire and like let's see what you get your little opinion on it.
Okay.
All right, so for the first time on my channel, because I've had Creepy react to trailers with me and such, even though last time it wasn't a trailer. In case y'all wondering, he did react to Gold Lewis Dickinson's trailer on my channel before, but first time, Vault is actually on where... And sometimes I like doing these little joint reactions, like those are kind of funny sometimes. So this right here was the latest trailer that the official Frostfire Battle Frenzy YouTube dropped. Let's take a look at it. And if you want me to, like, and also, like, I'm gonna have a cut here. If you want me to stop on anything, just let me know.
Oh, okay.
You're more than welcome to. And I got a cut there. Cool. Now go.
You thought you were cool with your powers? Now I have two!
But you haven't changed. You're still an idiot.
Yeah?
Yeah!
Bring it on!
Why do I feel like the fact that it's anime, you've already got something?
I'm giving it a chance. I'm letting it play.
To be quite honest though, like Frostfire, it's so crazy because I think this was out long. Like obviously this was long out before we had gotten the really in-depth footage of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, and I bring that up because I don't want to call it a craze because I don't want to like bloat anything. But wow, like people like, this game and freaking City of the Wolves, is the comic book aesthetic making a comeback?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the four kids aesthetic of like what was that old show? Fuck. Oh, it's
What
gonna
was it like?
kill me. It was about like a guy. It was like an anime-esque show on like four kids. It used
Mm-hmm.
to play like around the time like Sonic X would come up. And it
Ugh.
was like a guy who fought ghosts, I want to say. Um, Damn, it's gonna kill me because I love that show. I'm
You
looking up a quick list
you
of
mentioned
shows.
fighting a ghost and like it. I think my mind defaulted to a Nickelodeon show. So,
Oh no. Oh,
cause
Shaman King. That's what it was.
okay, Shaman King. Okay.
Yeah. So it kind of reminds me of like that old Shaman King Shaolin Showdown aesthetic. Not
Uh,
Shaolin Showdown. Was it Shaolin Showdown? What was that thing with the bald guy named Oni?
I think that was it. Yeah, I think that
Shaolin
was it.
Showdown was that what it
I
was?
think that was it. Looking it up right
Yeah.
now. You find it?
Yes, that's what it was. Shaolin
Okay.
Showdown.
Okay.
That's what it reminds me of.
Also, the over the top stuff. Since you mentioned those types of cartoons, this also kind of reminded me a little bit of Mucha Lucha.
Ah, yes.
Here you go with this wrestling stuff again. Yeah. All right. Go back so you can see like all of his stuff. Doesn't help the guy named Shadow. Matter of fact, I look at him now. Not any all well, not 100%. Sorry, y'all. Not 100%, but like he almost got half of him is almost like Shadow the Hedgehog colors.
Oh
Almost
yeah.
half of him.
He definitely fits the aesthetic.
All right. Sarah. Emily. Shoutouts to my friend Emily. Oh, oh, oh. I know.
Yeah.
I know that's a plus for you. I know that's a plus for you.
I love simple controls.
You say what? Wait.
I love simple controls. That's all I need.
Oh, there you go. Like this kind of that a plus?
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Let's see.
Come and fight for me. Pay attention.
That's a plus for me.
Thunder.
Why do I feel like you have something to say? Because they said Final Smash.
Oh no, I
Come
was,
on.
I was
Let me
I
stop.
think it's great.
Let me stop ruining your comedic genius with my freaking. Aha! Here's where the punchline comes. No, wait. Aha! Here's where it comes.
FROSTFIRE! Battle Frenzy!
Now you can play FROSTFIRE's demo by joining our Patreon. We'd appreciate your support.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say, I think like if you donate to the Patreon, you can get like a little, like a beta build of it or something. It kind of reminds me of when I was able to get a Skullgirls beta, where they would basically have, it would be like a testing ground for like new characters and such. And they would keep adding to it and keep adding to it and keep adding into it. And then, that's what I think that is. I need to like, I hope I can actually donate to the pit because I haven't really, I've been wanting to, but bills.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. No, yeah, I think that looked great. I don't know why they got their voice actors on Craigslist, but I think that looked great.
I think they might have done something like, I don't know. Cause they do have like a I think there's more updates on the official Twitter/X, and I don't care who thinks this isn't funny, but this comes from one of my favorite creators, or as he calls the site, X gon' give it to you. Sorry, not sorry. I still think it's funny. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
no,
like, because somebody was like, "Oh, that's not funny" or whatever. Then you can kiss my pinky ring for all I care.
well, I'm sure they're sad about it.
Kiss the shaman's ring. But yeah, I think they post updates on there all the time. But like, this was the most recent trailer I've seen on like, because I think they might have beefed up or did something with like the voice acting maybe. But yeah, I'll be delving into this in the next indie fighting game spotlight video. There was another one that's out that I wanted to cover, but I think it is best reserved for Spooktober. Someone's gonna know what that is. But yeah, that's what's coming in the future there. So you say you like it there? Kind of interested
Oh
in it?
yeah, I'm interested. I'm actually right now trying to pull up their Patreon. I
Uh
don't think I
oh, Look at that! Look at that!
have. Yeah, let me just create one, honey.
You gonna donate to them right now, or you just like gonna keep an eye on it?
No, I'll donate to them because it also says I get my name in the credits, so that's cool.
Yeah, that plus you should get like a little beta build of it. I wish I could do that right now.
Yeah.
But hey, that makes me happy, right? This is what, because honestly, thanks to this one account on Twitter/X gon' give it to you, there's like literally an account dedicated to just sharing stuff from indie fighting games. And I just could not believe all of the freaking just cool stuff out there. I know
No,
like they
yeah,
might not make a splash with the, like, especially now that the big hitters are all out here, the Street Fighters
right.
and the Mortal Kombat, but like for somebody who might be wanting, a little something different or whatnot, I say give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
But on top of
Listen,
that, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, I'm saying I'm definitely gonna look into it.
But yeah, like I'm gonna be looking into stuff that is coming up. Some stuff that might already be out there, because just for another little hint, the other indie fighting game I really want to delve into that I'm saving for Spooktober, that one's already out right now. And,
Oh, okay.
and I almost got it on sale when they had that big fat freaking fighting game sale during Evo week. I almost got it. But somehow I got transed over into Tekken 8, so which I don't regret, because like the biggest thing with me with Tekken 8 was there were not that many characters I was invested in. Like there was only really like out of that nice little roster right there were like maybe 3 characters that I was invested in. There was
Right.
Azucena, aka the kind of kooky freaking coffee lady, freaking Zafina, and like maybe Jun Kazama. That's basically it. 3 out of that freaking roster right there. And again, like all 3 of the characters I mentioned, they're all cool to me, but far as like my personal favorite list, ain't none of them on Julia's level, so it's not like a one character pew! Like it wasn't that.
Right.
But still, hey, I haven't regretted anything. I got it on the sale, and like I said, Azucena is a lot of fun. That's all.
Right.
That's all. That's all who I've been. That's all I've been basically playing. So But that's nice though. Man say he didn't like the indie game, then he actually feeling it there.
Yeah. See, look,
Oh
I
my.
can be convinced.
Oh my God, this fool said, because I had invited Creepy in here. He said he wasn't free. Now he says he is free. Kinda. Hold up. Let me see. But man, we got Vault, and Vault went straight to the Patreon.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
1000%.
man, went straight there. Like y'all heard the mess he was talking before, right? And if you didn't catch that, like I say, watch any of his watch-alongs, which I'm pretty sure you can watch them on his like channel, whether it's like last year's Game Awards or the one before that. This guy right here is pretty much the only reason why I even watch those live and all that. Even if they had like a whole bunch of fighting game reveals, I'd be like, I'll save it for like tomorrow.
Right.
I'll save it for tomorrow. But then just hearing this man roast stuff is like funny. It's hilarious. I can even appreciate it if somebody roasts something that I like. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's a sign of maturity.
Yeah, because it's like if you're funny with it, man, then I can't really hate you all that much. I can't.
Right.
Like if you're funny with it, like for instance, like I'm not like a fan of like all like the hip hop music out there nowadays. But when Ari Spears talks about how much he hates it, it's always funny. What's up, Creepy? Creepy's in there. You can't be doing me like this, dude, when I just give you that big intro, dog. There you
I
go.
was fixing my audio settings. I didn't have audio.
I understand that you hate to hear.
I tune in and I'm like, you can't do this to me, dog. And I'm like, shit. What did I do? What am I doing?
Nah, it was the audio's fault. They cut your mic off.
You're a gamer.
How you doing?
Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
I love how like the first like you were on episode 0 of my current podcast, and now you.
Episode 0.
Well, I call it that
Best
because
one.
well, I mean because I didn't
like the Yu-Gi-Oh episode where where Yami set that dude on fire. I mean, like it was basically the same plot. I can't believe I had to set that dude on fire. We're not going to get that graphic ever again, though. This is a kid show through and through now.
It was so funny because we were just talking about 4 kids, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a guest at Youmacon, and at that year, they had the voice actor for Brock and Kaiba, same dude, as one of the guests. And in the green room, I asked him, like, so were you one, like, do you know the guy, or what was like the story behind like the jelly donut line and like the Subway sandwich edit? And he's like, kids don't fucking care, right? They don't know what the hell a rice ball is.
You
We
know,
changed
after
it to something that they would know because they just don't have the cultural context. Like no, like we didn't care is the thing. Like, and it's like, yeah, you got a bunch of adults being given this like property, and like you got one dude voicing like 10 of the characters because like that's all that they can like afford. And that dude somehow is like, yeah, I changed it to a Subway sandwich because kids don't know what the fuck rice balls are.
you know, ever since you
Honestly,
had
it was the most real human thing
you
I've
know,
ever heard.
ever since you had me edit that segment on your recent video where the guy bought a lost game with a Subway gift card, I will never look at Subway the same again. And yes, y'all, that
Yeah.
really did happen. Go watch the video. Go watch it, like right.
Dude, don't ever go on Twitter and like take that shit serious.
Oh shoot, I'm already messed up in that aspect, and I had been staying away from Twitter for a while. But unfortunately, someone was like, "Well, you can get more traffic to the channel." Like, okay, fine.
The
And then-
art of Twitter is only using it
It's an art?
for your there's an art to it, right? There's because you
I was
don't want
trying
to
to
get
be-
sucked into it.
I was trying to be mean, but he freaking no sold it. That
Oh
means
no, I'm not gonna know. So Twitter is a addictive social media, and it's like designed to specifically like trap you in these like modes of thought that drive engagement. So
and
the
Vault
way
is over
to
here, like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
you know, like you get really mad at something, right? You see something and then you want to like comment on that, and then you get into an argument with a guy, and now you're 15 comments into the day, right? Twitter is engineered to get you to do that.
What
Like,
happened
because like
when-
the more
What
human
happened when you got in
interaction
that
that
situation,
I get,
Vault? What happened when you got in that situation? Like, what happens when you get like mad at something on Twitter? What do you do?
well, a lot of the time
I
you
said
just gotta
Vault.
recognize. Oh,
yeah,
here, Vault.
I just honestly, I used to go down this like rabbit hole of like arguing all day with people, but now I just give them a snide remark and I just move on. Like, whatever it is.
That's the art, right? Like it's to not get sucked in, learn how to like pull out, you know, because you're never gonna convince someone on Twitter that you're right because there's not enough characters that adequately explain
especially
complex
if it's a Mortal Kombat fan.
subject. Especially if it's a fucking Mortal Kombat fan. Those people are unrelenting. But like, for real, like if you people who might normally be reasonable and be willing to hear your argument aren't going to be able to hear your argument because you have to type in a completely different way to even get your stuff in. And if you have a blue check mark, like you literally, your opinion is shit. So no one cares when you give them a text wall with the blue check mark. You know, they can just be like, haha, Elon horror.
I don't get why
I'm out.
anybody would waste money on that, but hey, y'all do you. Y'all
I'm
do
not
you.
gonna waste money on it when I get like a conservative ad every 3 seconds. Like, listen, right?
Like
I don't
all
care
that
what.
basically does is all getting that blue check mark does is it makes you a target for all those freaking pictures and those memes where people poke fun at you for having the blue check mark. This motherfucker pay for Twitter. This motherfucker
Yeah.
pay for Twitter.
Yeah, no, there's absolutely zero reason to pay for Twitter. You know, most search engines like to make advertisements catered to your interest. And I feel like I get advertisements catered to Elon Musk's interests when I'm on Twitter.
Gotta be his
And
interest because why all these freaking idiots just springing up like daisies? It's like, where you come from, man? Get off my mess.
like people are like getting their like posts limited in visibility because they're talking about the Star Wars CIS.
I don't see that. I just seen freaking Mortal Kombat fans fighting about the fact that it's not Mortal Kombat anymore. It's Scary Person Bloody freaking Smash Brothers because it's got 6 guest characters in it now.
No, Twitter's a cesspool now.
That's all I see nowadays. Somebody who was
Used to be
literally
better.
I told Vault this earlier. Somebody who was literally admittedly according to their little bio is 20, like in their early 20s, 20 or 21, talking about I miss the days when Mortal Kombat was Mortal Kombat. Matter of fact, I think Roof even freaking owned this fool. Let me find that post. But go ahead, Vault.
That ROOFLEMONGER clip that God.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I didn't send that to you. I sent that to Sario. I'm gonna send it to you. Give me 1 second.
Go ahead, Vault. What were you saying? I'm gonna find this mess. This man Roof freaking lost his doggone mind on these folks.
Oh yeah, no, it's a cesspool because like I typically follow like pages related to like the media I consume. So like I've seen stuff about like Deadpool and Wolverine pop up, but Twitter is such a cesspool now that it was a post saying Deadpool and Wolverine crosses 500 million at the global box office in like the first 5 days. And the first comment, or for a top comment from a Twitter Blue account was, "That's what happens when you don't have minorities or women as the lead characters." And it's like, how did you get there? How is that your conclusion? Not they made a good movie, but thank God we didn't have minorities or women as the main character. And I'm like, this is why this app is so fucking terrible, because this shit just permeates through the entire app. And of course, fucking 50,000 likes on that comment. It's like, Jesus Christ. I just closed the app.
Close application.
Yeah, I just swipe up and like, all right, I'm done here.
Just
That's
close
enough.
application. That's all you got to do.
I don't know.
Geez.
It just
Gotta drop off the call, guys. But yeah, thanks, Chris, for having me on this this episode.
Yeah, I couldn't find the stuff in time there. I was gonna close it up myself actually, but that is what it is. We covered a pretty decent amount of ground there. I appreciate both of y'all for stopping by.
Hey, Vault. Nice to talk to you again.
Hey, nice to talk to you, Creepy.
But yeah, thank y'all for stopping by. Of course, I will catch you all in the next episode. Whew, y'all take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. Be cool to each other. Please, 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 please stay hydrated. Whether you're working out in the heat, whether you gotta walk out in the heat, anywhere in the heat, please, please, please stay hydrated. And of course, even though I feel that day is coming, still, free CVS2. Y'all take care.